Hydrofield cuts through my neighborhood.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Fearlessly Authentic. Leo's having a spaz attack on the floor.
Yo.
And then Steve. Oh, my goodness. How is everybody doing? We're going to
Go out.
we got some things to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about Cop City and what that is, and the protests that are happening around Cop City, and also, you know, the CIA and woolly mammoths, because, you know, that's what's happening. It's a real thing. We might see woolly mammoths in our lifetime. Seriously. So let's see what you guys are saying over here. We got Little here dropping a link. What's going on with that? Angela, we do need to stop the presses. Somebody deleted a selfie. Oh my God. There's a lot of people deleting things lately. Yeah. We love you too, Angela. Oh, we got Popeye in the house. What's up, Popeye? Oh, Snork. We probably won't be talking about the miniature Dotson mammoth hybrids for stealth reconnaissance. Their snouts allow them to carry satellite dishes, and their tails work like compasses. What? What? I wouldn't be surprised if that's a real thing. Is it a real thing? Kate. Snork. Oh man. Oh my gosh. Popeye. It could be. It could be. You never know. Oh, Popeye wants a mini mammoth. He's got his bid in. He wants one, Steve.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Cop City stuff is absolutely like mind-blowing, and I haven't done like a super deep dive into it. Like, I've been so like enthralled with so many other things, I haven't really done like a really deep dive into it. I did gather some information to kind of like go over it, but I don't think this will be the last time we'll be covering this. I got a really great... Sorry, stuff is in my way. I got a really great article to start us out with that, to talk about the Cop City and what's happening there. And like, there's stuff that's currently happening at Cop City right now as we are here live. So yeah, I'm worried about this Cop City. The more that I learned about it, it seems more alarming as we go. So trying to support, an independent grassroots, I found this. There is some mainstream stuff that I want to cover on it, but this is Toward Freedom. Global Reports Grassroots Perspectives. And this is from January 27th of 2023. So Atlanta fights 90 million or 90M, I guess it's million, or urban warfare corporate-backed Cop City police training facility. So the people of this town are not happy. People outside of this town are not happy about what's happening here. And this image here is a visual memorializing a slain activist, Manuel. Oh my God, how do I say his name properly? Toward Steve.
What was it again? Where?
It's right under the picture here.
Tortuguita.
I can't say
Tortuguita.
Tortuguita?
Yep.
Okay, or Tort. I can call him Tort. If they refer to him here in Tort, I'm going to use that. Sometimes with my dyslexia, it's really hard for me to actually get the words out. So on June 7th of 2021, when the Atlanta City Councilwoman Joyce Shepard introduced a city ordinance to lease 381 acres of public land to the Atlanta Police Foundation for the police training facility, then budgeted at $80.6 million. To her surprise, writes the activist group Defend the Atlanta Forest, the ordinance was met with massive public opposition. Well, geez, I wonder why, Leading up to a meeting on June 16th, 2021 of the Atlantic City Council Finance Executive Committee, Atlanta residents called in 3 hours and 41 minutes of public comments in the form of pre-recorded messages. Most comments were in opposition to the project. Protesters showed up at Shepard's house during the meeting itself, chanting "No Cop City, keep Atlanta green." The construction of the training facility would cut down part of Atlanta's South River Forest, which provides environmental protection against flooding and extreme heat. Shepard quickly arranged to have police cars stationed outside her home in response to peaceful protests.
That's nice.
Oh, yeah.
You can't protest because, we need more cops. Cops need a city. And this is where we need the city to be, next to your little town, so we can teach cops how to treat people like they're not people. It'll be great. Everybody will love it.
Well, yeah. On September 6, 2021, Atlanta residents called with over 17 hours worth of public comment regarding the new training facility ordinance. Of the 1,166 comments called, about 70% of them were opposed to the project. The Atlanta City Council ignored the overwhelming opposition and voted 10-4 in favor of building what activists dubbed as Cop City. Cop City, if built, will maintain a mock of the city of Atlanta. So, what could go wrong there? They're actually putting up a mock of the city that they're in, where police will practice the urban warfare tactics. Yeah, that doesn't sound very welcoming. urban warfare tactics of the exact replica of the town that you're in. It will also include a Black Hawk helicopter landing pad, explosive testing area, firing range, and an emergency vehicle driving course. The price tag on the project has since ballooned to $90 million, $60 million to be raised by the Atlanta Police Foundation, and $30 million coming from the pockets of Atlanta residents.
Getting up here. Go.
Atlanta has the largest Black populations out of the U.S. cities. Almost half of Atlanta residents being African American. 18.5% of Atlantans live in poverty, a rate which is higher than the national average of 11.6%. Operation Shield, another Atlanta Police Foundation project launched in 2007, developed a network of 11,000 camera and license plate readers, rendering Atlanta the most surveilled city in the country. Like, that's alarming. Defend the Atlanta Forest is a group has emerged as a leader of the opposition to Cop City. Writes over 300 acres. Cop City will be the largest police training facility in the United States and is slated to include a mock city where police will train with firearms, tear gas, helicopters, explosive devices to repress protests and mass unrest. So it's slated to include a mock city where police will train with firearms, tear gas, helicopters, explosive devices to repress protests and mass unrest, much as they did during the 2020 George Floyd protests. Cop City will be hyper-militarized law enforcement, equipping police with a site to train for the suppression of Atlanta diverse Black and working class communities. And here's a little video. So I'm going to have to mute us and so I can play this.
Atlanta is planning on building a $90 million training ground in the forest to practice urban warfare tactics. Activists are calling it Cop City and say it will harm Black people in the environment.
The facility would be a space where the police could practice tear gas, explosions, bomb testing, have a shooting range, practice high-speed chases. Like, they're literally going to build a mock city of Atlanta to practice different urban warfare tactics. The purpose of this project is to be able to better surveil, better suppress, and better prevent liberation movements that directly address the exploitation that Black and working class communities are feeling.
Atlanta actually increased its police budget after Black Lives Matter protests and a movement to defund the police. More than 70% of Atlantans disapprove of Cop City. In 2021, Atlanta's population was almost 50% Black. 20% of Atlantans live in poverty.
The Atlanta police have always been antagonistic towards poor and working class people. They have been active agents of gentrification.
Cop City is proposed to be built on land that included a slave plantation and a prison farm. The construction would cut down part of the South River forest, which helps prevent flooding and protects against extreme heat. Activists against Cop City are occupying the forest, building barricades, and protesting against corporate sponsors to stop construction.
Defund the police, abolish them, and invest in the things that actually keep us safe. We've been ramping up our efforts to get folks in the community trained on things like restorative justice, on medic trainings, on de-escalation tactics, disaster relief, all the things that we know actually keep us safe when we're in crisis. And so we don't need to call the police. Folks won't feel like they need to engage 911, that will have those skills in our community and can meet our own needs.
Okay, now we're not muted anymore.
Yeah, Angela said, one of my follows on Twitter said that the hashtag is being suppressed for Stop Cop City and the live coverage from Unicorn Riot and others getting buried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all.
We were watching their coverage right before we started.
Yeah. How do I make this like just normal? No, not that. All right. Well, I'll just leave it like that for right now. So who's backing Cop City? The anti-police brutality protests following the George Floyd in 2020 caused a cultural shockwave, forcing the hand of even the most powerful corporations. Companies released statements after statement condemning police violence and racism. Some of those same corporations have become the most significant backers of Cop City. So it just goes to show you that, yeah, these corporations will pretend like, you know what I mean, they're on the side of the people when the people are speaking out against it, but they will turn on people like the drop of a hat. They will turn on the people. They will do what if we better back the cops because they're the ones who are gonna be there against these people. You know, like they start to see us as their enemies.
Yeah, they definitely that's what this encampment, this Cop City is. And this ain't the only one. They're all over the country, and they're teaching the police how to deal with civil unrest and how to deal with people protesting or being activists and how to stop them as efficiently as possible.
Yeah, they have ICE training. They have ICE training facilities like this.
That's what they're doing.
Yeah, and they're gonna keep pushing this until there is enough pushback from people for this to stop. It's gonna keep happening.
There ain't gonna stop. It ain't gonna stop. It's basically the way that like other countries work. You know, like a specific one that has a big wall around it. The whole thing. You know, that one. That one definitely is setting the standard for how cops are supposed to behave to other people who are not cops. And it doesn't matter if those other people are civilians of their own country or not, because they get handled with the same exact measure, you know, and no quarter. And don't think you're going to protest and not be dealing with these cops. These cops went into a festival that was like something else too. That wasn't the same thing. And
we'll get to that part after.
Okay, whatever.
But
it's fine. I've said my piece.
Okay. So 6 days after the death of Floyd, shipping and retail giant Amazon tweeted, "The inequitable, brutal treatment of Black people in our country must stop." Private logistics company UPS pledged millions of dollars towards racial justice organizations, historically Black universities, following the killings of Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery. I cannot say things tonight. Breonna Taylor, and in 2020, Wells Fargo Bank claimed that it had paused donations to police foundations. Yeah, pause. All these major corporations have become a part of the corporate network now backing Cop City. Other companies in this network include, but are not limited to, Inspire Brands, which include Arby's, Buffalo Wild Wings, Dunkin' Donuts, and others, Waffle House, Chick-fil-A, JP Morgan Chase, and Home Depot. Many top executives of these companies have existing or former ties to police organizations across the country, including the Atlanta Police Foundation. An activist dies fighting Cop City. Many resisting the construction of Cop City have labeled themselves forest defenders in regards to the hundreds of acres of forest set to be destroyed through the building of the police training facility. One such forest defender, Tort, was killed on January 18th during SWAT operations to clear up the... Okay, you have to get down. No. Clear up the... and protect camp at the... Oh, I can't say that forest name. Weelaunee Forest, which activists have been occupying for over a year to resist Cop City construction. Georgia State Patrol, the GSP troopers, claimed that 26-year-old Tort refused to exit their tent and shot at officers, injuring one. Police then responded by shooting and killing the activists. However, the activists are demanding an investigation into the murder, as GSP claims there is no body camera footage, and Tort was not known to own or carry a gun. So his death is not an outliner. This is, in fact, part of a pattern of criminalization of protests in Atlanta. Forest defenders have been beaten, pepper sprayed, violently arrested, or otherwise attacked by police since June of 2021. They have seen several protest actions following Tort's murder, including an explosive protest on Saturday, January 21st, which right-wing officials slammed as terrorism due to incidents of property destruction. Infamous Georgia Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene published a string of tweets demanding that BLM and Antifa protesters be labeled as domestic terrorists. So that's where she's at with this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to play her. I really don't.
Yeah.
One of the accusations hurled at protesters by authorities is an old one, that those demonstrating are in fact not from Atlanta or not part of the communities most affected by policing. This outside agitator conspiracy is identical to accusations against the 2020 anti-police brutality protesters, that those opposed to police violence are not guaranteed oppressed or working class, and instead they are wealthy white people looking to stir up trouble. Yeah, I'm sure that, it's just always, wealthy white people just looking to come in and stir up trouble, not help. Oh my God. And yeah, there probably is people like that fit every category, but you can't generalize people like that. In response, Atlanta activists have dug up an interesting piece of information about Cop City. Almost 43% of trainees in the facility would be recruited from out of state. The cops, 43% of the trainees in the facility would come from out of state. So it's okay to bring in out of state cops, but out of state people can't be affected even if their state is represented at that training facility. I mean, like, that's where I'm at with that. Like that, when I hear that. So a massive influx of police from across the country would convene in Atlanta to learn the latest tactics in police repression. The police trainees are the true outside agitators, activists say, and also a reason why anyone in the United States, not only those from Atlanta, have a vested interest in fighting the Constitution of Cop City. Yeah, absolutely. All right, I'm going to mute us so we can play this. I will play her. I don't want to play Margaret Taylor Greene.
So Mayor Andre Dickens and Marjorie Taylor Greene and Brian Kemp are all skipping down the street arm in arm around the idea that Stop Cop City and the movement to defend the Atlanta forest is driven by outside agitators. In a questionnaire that the Atlanta city government filled out in November to give over to the financiers of Cop City, they themselves admitted that 43% of trainees at Cop City would be people from outside of the state of Georgia. 57% would be local, meaning coming from within the state of Georgia somewhere, not necessarily the city of Atlanta. Say that one more time. Almost half of people that they plan to train at Cop City are outside agitators. And so it makes sense that people from all over the state, all over the country, all over the world have eyes on this situation, because their repression will not be bound by geography, and neither will our resistance.
Go ahead.
No, she's just spot on.
Yeah.
Militant.
You think she's militant?
She's definitely coming at it with a very high precision. Yes.
So I will put the link for this article in with our show notes so you guys can all see. You guys can, check out all the sources of all the information that I use. I just thought that was like holy shit. So more about what's happening there. I was able to find a clip. I'm going to have to mute myself to play this, I think. From Unicorn Riot. That is from March 4th of 2023. And this is like their on-the-ground coverage. They've been covering this.
Yesterday.
Yes. I have some other articles and information as well that are not that are from previous to this, so it's not an exact timeline, but I wanted to give you guys a little bit of insight as to what's happening.
I came here to stop Cop City. What did you all come here to do? Stop Cop City! What did we come to do? Stop Cop City! What did we come to do? Stop Cop City! See, after the APD killed Rayshard Brooks at that Wendy's, and our comrades burned that Wendy's to the ground. We asked the city of Atlanta for a Rayshard Brooks Peace Center and the defunding of the police. And what was their response? The best we can give you is Cop City. When we asked the city of Atlanta to at least listen to communities and understand that 70% of those who were allowed to give public comment said that Cop City was only going to further hinder our communities. The city of Atlanta said, the best we can give you is to silence your voice. When we asked the city of Atlanta to at least allow us to peacefully demonstrate, allow our comrades to go live in the trees, protect our forests, the best that the city of Atlanta said we can give you is murder, repression, mass arrests, domestic terrorism charges. Fuck 12. Fuck 12. So when the city of Atlanta asks us to adhere to some concept of law and order, we need to tell them that the best that we can give them is rebellion. Now I may be a little bit selfish in my reason for being here. I want to be free. I want my children to be free. I want my mother to be free. I want my father and my brothers and sisters to be free. And I don't want to have to live a life in 10 years when my babies, my nieces, and my nephews come to me and ask, Kamasi, where were you? What were you doing when they destroyed our clean water, destroyed our clean air? What happened? Why were you not around? What were you doing? When my babies come in 10 years and they say, Kamasi, what were you doing when this country turned into a fascist dystopia? What were you doing? Where were you when you were around? I can't sit back and say, I just sat home and watched this whole world burn to hell. That's right. I don't believe in the power. I don't believe in the power of the imperialists. I believe in the power of the people.
Yeah, that was absolutely, it's spot on. I mean, like, what do you what are you going to tell future generations?
Exactly. It's like, the situation is bad. More people are going to be hurt. More people probably get killed. But if, you know what I mean? If this isn't a worthy fight for people, what the fuck is, man? Like, what's it going to take for people to just say enough of this fucking bullshit and your fascism? These guys are like, they're training to treat you like you are at war. Like, that's their response for civilians protesting something, is to treat you like you're a combative enemy and take you out. That's fucked up. okay, on its face. So as far as I'm concerned, all bets are off. Like, fuck you all the way off. Fuck all the way off completely, because, if me standing here is such a threat to you that you have to use violence and fucking chemical weapons and things against you, like, fuck that, dude. Fuck that shit. The whole fucking thing needs to come crashing down.
Yeah. Like we are.
These people are brave. So fucking shout out to everybody holding it down. Fuck yeah.
And we can't be there and we can't be everywhere, but we're bringing the information out as much as we can. And that's what we are doing.
Because people need to be aware, man. The time is now. Like, everybody needs to be ready. These people, these police forces are training in what amounts to military camps. They have their own bases. They're cop military base, right? We're civilians. We're fucking civilians. We don't have fucking military bases. We're not doing exercises and drilling every day to get really good at precision fucking crowd dispersal. And like, what the fuck is going on, man? You see how other countries do it, right? That's what they're doing. They're training so that as civilians are their combative enemy. That's it. There is no distinction between.
And when you interact with these cops, especially these
protester
militarized cops, they expect that you are going to listen to them the way that they listen in their training, the militarized training. They're expecting that you are going to be a good soldier and that you're just going to immediately like listen to what they're saying. Listen to a human being just screaming at you.
Yeah.
You're just supposed to follow the order and just know what to do, let alone any kind of, if you have a disability, if you have hearing issues, if you didn't understand, if there's any reason why, you don't immediately just do what they say, they're going to come at you.
Yep, we absolutely, Ghost Star. I agree. We are all fucking enemy combatants to them. Anybody saying anything back to them and pushing back at all is insurgent and must be eliminated. That's the fucking game. Those are the rules. We didn't make them. That's what they're doing. That's how they fucking play. So I think, turnabout is fair play, man. Fuck these motherfuckers.
We're not trained. We don't have funding the way that they do to do these kind of things.
Unlimited budget.
The military is giving these guys the weapons. They're giving them the training. They're giving them these vehicles.
$90 million for a fucking camp. $90 million.
That's going to be identical.
Of a fucking camp you can have for $90 million.
And it's going to be identical to the city. Like, how freaking crazy is that?
In the woods of fucking outside Atlanta. Like, what the fuck, dude? So, like, all right, we bought this little chunk of suburbia. So think about the people who live in that town, how that feels.
Well, this is sacred land to them.
I know. I'm just saying, like, it's rural. You know what I mean? They bought the rural fucking cheap ass power lines fucking land. And they're like, well, far enough away from everybody that we can do this and not be fucking. No, fuck you, dude. Everybody with a drone is going to be flying over that fucking shit. It's bad news. We need to stop that stuff. Stop it. Just stop it. You guys.
How do I just make this normal? Oh, there we go.
Chuckleberry. I'll be your
Chuckleberry. This is stopcopcity.city. And I'm gonna put this in with the show links and everything, but I
John Kemper
drop it in here.
Sorry. What is Cop Center? Cop City. Cop City Center.
Well, that's what we're gonna go over.
It's gonna be the upgrade, right?
So it's 381 acres, 60 million. Plus 30 million. So it's 60 million of corporate funding, 30 million of taxpayer dollars. So they're also making them pay for that. and zero accountability to community.
$90 million, 381 acres, ladies and gentlemen.
So it says, to quote, to be clear, Cop
Woo.
City is not just a controversial training center. It's a war base where police will learn military-like maneuvers to kill black people and control our bodies and movements.
Yeah.
The facility, including shooting ranges, plans for bomb testing, will practice tear gas deployment. They are practicing how to make sure poor and working class people stay in line so that the police kill us in the streets again, like they did to Rashard Brooks in 2020. They can control our protests and community's response to how they continually murder our people.
Kwame Olufemi. I can't pronounce words. Community movement builders. The plans include military-grade training facilities, a mock city to practice urban warfare, explosive testing areas, dozens of shooting ranges, and a Black Hawk helicopter landing pad.
Oh, yeah,
Because you need one of those.
Look at the facility right
Oh,
there.
it's beautiful, sprawling. What a lovely setup, especially for the Black Hawk. You know, when you need a surface-to-air missile capability in your downtown area, you know, Black Hawk gets the job done. Right? Is that right? Let me call my friends at Raytheon. Let's see if they can give me the heads up.
We don't have any friends at Raytheon.
Oh, shit. How are we supposed to know what they're doing then?
We're not connected to these people.
Fucking, they have a nice spread. Looks like you could play at least, I don't know, 3 or 4 holes of golf there if you set it up right. Frisbee golf would be off the hook there.
Yeah,
Except
how about we just leave it as a forest? But,
yeah, you know what that would be?
So who does
Nice.
Cop City serve? The Atlanta Police Foundation is accountable for Atlanta's wealthy elite, not the citizens of Atlanta.
Oh,
APF funds police militarization, funneling money into the military industrial complex. That is, this is a big problem for me. The military industrial complex, supporting the military industrial complex on purpose,
yeah,
is alarming to me.
It's kind of a drag if your situation lends itself to being a part of that. That's all. And you know how many people in this country, like, and friends and things that I've had over the years, that their families are connected in some way to some sort. Like my Uncle Dave used to work at Pratt Whitney, you know, for fucking 25
I know
years.
people that work at Electric Boat.
Exactly.
And I know people in the military, and I know like my
Yeah.
stepdad used to be in the military, and I grew up on military bases as a kid. I do not support the military industrial complex though.
They ran out of surveillance pigs. Ghost Art said.
So behind closed doors, police foundations and their corporate sponsors privately fund the ongoing militarization and expansion of policing, targeting Black, Brown, and Indigenous communities. Color of Change report. Police foundations, a corporate sponsored threat to democracy and Black lives.
Yeah, this article has like serious slant to it, but you know, I don't think it's unwarranted at this point.
What this is the actual website right here that I'm
understand.
reading from.
I understand.
This is the Stop Cop City website.
I get it.
So it's not like
I get it. It's there. It's the activists.
this is the activists website.
Site.
Yes. APF is unaccountable for the people of Atlanta. They lied and avoided transparency throughout the entire process of the proposal. Refused to make any corporate sponsors of the facility public, despite requests from organizers and city council members. They refused to offer opportunities for public engagement. And they lied that the project site is marked by little tree cover, largely invasive species of plants and trees that have sprouted over a 20-year period. And there are no native trees up to 300 plus years old and many native species flourishing. They're trying to say, like, you know, it doesn't matter because it's, you know, it's not that. And they refused to make public environmental assessment records and lied about their existence. So, you know, this is the problem when you don't have transparency. People get upset. People don't like that. So we have to understand that this is why people demand accountability. This is why we demand transparency.
This is why we do it. No, that's not it. This is how we do. Anyway.
So they have a part where it says, how can I get involved? So if you are interested in getting involved, this is their website, Stop Cop City Solidarity.org. You can call the office and tell them to reject the Cop City permits. You can organize in your community petitions. Help with weekly supply drives they have happening. So these are all different ways that they're saying, like, if you want to get involved, that you can get involved.
Yep.
And it's an easy stopcop.city.
Say that 5 times fast.
Yeah.
Hashtag Stop Cop City.
And this is their land acknowledgement and their commitment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it seems, I hate things like this because it's so easy for, like, nefarious motherfuckers to co-opt it. You know what I mean? Like that whole thing that just duped a fucking bazillion people with BLM. That's bound to happen again.
So in the 1820s, the Muskogee people were forcibly removed from their ancestral homelands in the so-called Atlanta. We acknowledge the sustained erasure, oppression, land disposition, and harm of the Muskogee people of these lands. The movement to protect, how do you say that? Weelaunee forests and stop Cop City commits to healing, reparations, and building relationships of trust and reciprocity with Muskogee communities. So they have an action plan. Hopefully,
used to be.
Hopefully more people don't get
from Muskogee
injured or hurt, because people, there's already one protester that has lost his life in this.
Yeah. And that's fucking awful, and such a glaring, like, oh, we're just gonna build the giant Cop City playground right over here for you guys to play cop on.
I know, it's like a cop's wet dream.
Yeah, it's like, we get to fire real guns, everybody. Woo-hoo! I shot myself in the foot the first day. I had so much fun. That's my impression of a Georgia policeman.
Exactly, John. It's war games on the people of Atlanta. Yeah, and then other cops will go there and get trained there, and there'll be cops from all over the place.
Yes.
So this is
bring cops for miles.
priceoffoil.org and Oil Change International. A week of action begins demanding justice for the murder of the Cop City forest defender. And this is from the 20th of February of 2023. For decades, U.S. authorities have tried to discredit social justice, civil rights, peace, and environmental activists as domestic terrorists and an enemy within. Often those targeted are engaged in peaceful, nonviolent, direct action. Concurrent state has used violence against these activists, labeling the victim as a threat. There are decades of evidence of the FBI and police acting with brutal impunity, but now the police have crossed a deadly line. Last month saw the first police killing of a protester in the history of the United States environmental movement. For months now, tensions around the city of Atlanta have been rising, where the authorities want to clear 85 acres of the South River Forest. God.
right?
Known to the Tuskegee Creek peoples as the what is that forest? The Weelanchi. I cannot say the.
You can say it.
I'm so bad at these names. I can't pronounce
Weelaunee Forest.
Weelaunee. Yeah. See, once you say it, I can repeat it.
Weelaunee.
To build
Muskogee.
90 million urban warfare training centers. I can't say regular words, like words that I normally
Indian words
commonly
you usually do pretty good with. It's just
I usually do.
say 'em.
I just can't because it's the difference in how it's spelled and all that, and my dyslexia makes it hard. So the Urban Warfare Training Center, it's called the Urban Warfare Training Center.
Yeah. No, you're right here for the Stop Cop City.
So a group of activists have been trying to stop Cop City, as it is called, and has been camped out in the woods for months. So there's been some intersectionality. Some activists have been there to prevent the forest from being cut, and others, it's the issue of the police brutality. And there are things that I don't agree with BLM, Black Lives Matter, and there's things that I do agree with them. And I'm not going to get into all of that right now, but I just wanted to
Vicky Adams
show that this is happening. So the police crossed the line that no one has crossed in environmental protests in the U.S. They fatally shot one activist, a 26-year-old Noah's Tort, Spanish for little turtle. He was not shot once, but over a dozen times. This was not a mistake or a stray bullet, but a deliberate murder.
Mm-hmm.
That's just insane.
Twisted.
The police were not alone that day, according to the report in The Guardian on the matter. Dozens of officers from the Atlanta Police Department,
DeKalb County Police.
Yep, and the Georgia State Patrol, the GSP, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, and the FBI swept through the camp. Once again, the state had colluded to crush and kill.
Lovely. The disputed circumstances surrounding Tortuguita's death are now subject to an investigation by the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. The police say they were fired on claim entirely refuted by the activists themselves. So, people that were there are like, no, nobody fired on you at all. You killed this guy. And so lawyers acting for Tortuguita's family also questioned the police account of the shooting. We need to see Tortuguita's death in the broader picture. As they were shot, other activists were violently evicted, and their murder fits into a pattern of intimidation. In December and January 19th, opponents of Cop City were charged with felonies under Georgia's rarely used 2017 domestic terrorism law. A review by Grist of 20 arrest warrants shows that none of those arrested and slapped with terrorism charges are accused of seriously injuring anyone. 9 are alleged to have committed no specific illegal actions beyond misdemeanor trespassing. Instead, their mere association with the group committed to defending the forest appears to be the foundation of declaring them terrorists. So you can't be a member of that group because you're a terrorist, because reasons.
Yeah, you're a terrorist for wanting to protect
forest,
the natural,
right,
the natural land.
Speaking to Democracy Now!, the Grist reporter Aileen Brown says the flimsy domestic terrorism charges appear to be part of the strategy to undermine the protest movement, rather than respond to an actual threat to public safety. Brown said these charges may not be meant to stick. Perhaps instead it's meant to send a message that this is a criminal group and these are terrorists. Brown added that in the sense that it creates a sort of public relations message that perhaps does make it easier to go in and evict people and escalate into something that, like we saw on January 18th with Tortuguita. In the book Green Backlash, which documented the black backlash against the Green movement in the U.S. and elsewhere in the 90s, I wrote that By reframing the environmental movement as criminal subversives and terrorists, there will only be one result: violence against the environmentalists. And this is what happened. Tortuguita's death fits into an increasing violence against environmental defenders worldwide, which should not allow this to happen. We should not allow this to happen. We should not allow this to happen. Some 1,300 civil society and climate justice groups, including Oil Change International, have now called for a genuinely independent investigation into the police murder and also the resignation of the Atlanta mayor, Andre Dickens, who has refused to condemn the killing. But the struggle being played out in Atlanta's forest is much more than just protecting a few trees. It's about justice and climate change and what kind of peaceful rather than militarized society we live in. It is about who we are and the values we hold with us. It is an intersectional and fundamental. As a solidarity statement says, the struggle that is playing out in Atlanta is a contest for the future. As the catastrophic effects of climate change hammer our communities with hurricanes, heat waves, and forest fires, the stakes of the contest are clearer than ever. It will determine whether those who come after us inherit an inhabitable earth or a police state nightmare. It is up to us to create a peaceful society that does not treat human life as expendable. It also resonates with other ongoing climate justice fights in the U.S., such as Mountain Valley Pipeline. For now, though, we need justice. We need you to spread the word. We need you to get involved. This week, there was a Solidarity Action Week, and in March, there will be mass mobilization in Atlanta to stop Cop City. As the Solidarity Statement said, life is not expendable, and justice should not be denied. No shit.
So this is where this brings us up to where we are now. There's a large-scale mobilization in Atlanta set for March 4th through 11th. So this brings us up to current.
On.
Yeah, this is happening now. This is.
And the cops already been in there.
Yeah, we're gonna show the people.
Yeah. Like in real time, they are they're straight messing with people. And again, anybody who is even associated with that organization, they're just, even if you're standing next to a guy, apparently, at least earlier today, which lucky will show you.
Yeah. So I don't know if this is still live. I'm gonna pull it. No. But I'm gonna pull up this video so I can show you guys. And they did a interview. Unicorn Riot has been on the ground there.
Hey everyone, we're live on Unicorn.
Let me add this into the stream. And I wanted to give you guys an update as of today. This is from earlier. We were watching this between when Drew's show was on.
Duder.
Hey, Wolf Dude. We're talking about Cop City. So let me pull this so we can kind of see. I'm going to mute us real quick so that this doesn't do a weird echo stuff.
Riot right now. We're in Atlanta, Georgia, and there are state troopers and possibly Atlanta police officers as well here at the RC field. At the RC field, this person's pointing their gun inside a bouncy house right now. That state trooper just pointed a rifle inside a bouncy house.
This is a public park.
So again, we are in Atlanta, Georgia, and they just turned a.
And put that.
We just heard something. Might have sounded like a gunshot or a firework. Chris, you have to be 20 feet close because the mic won't work otherwise. But yeah, there was a noise that kind of sounded like a gunshot or a firework over there. We are in Atlanta, Georgia, and let's see what there's. We're in Atlanta, Georgia. We're at the RC Field, which is somewhat near Weelaunee People's Park. And there's a music festival here advocating for quote unquote Stop Cop City movement and defend the Atlanta forest. There are state troopers and Atlanta police officers who arrived on the scene at this music festival recently here tonight. And they apparently tackled a bunch of people in the crowd. And they seem to be going, I don't know, there's a group of 5 right in front of us. They're splitting up. Probably at least a dozen kind of like charged in to the driveway of this park about 15 or 20 minutes ago. And yes, so we believe they arrested a handful or more of people. It's unclear at this time. At the very least, detained people. Earlier tonight, there was an autonomous group of forest defenders who, it was the biggest march through the Atlanta forest that's ever happened. It just happened about an hour ago, and people marched up a clearing where the power lines are, and that's a spot where police activity and surveillance has mostly stationed. More cops are on the way, walking in at a brisk pace. More rifles, more live ammunition rounds by the Georgia State Patrol walking into the Atlanta forest. The cops have a bunch. There's fireworks going off right now behind the trees. Yeah, these are, yes, there's 2 state troopers and 4, I'm assuming Atlanta police officers, but 4 police officers walking briskly. Is like right now.
So I'm not going to obviously play the whole thing because it's like a few hours long, but I put the link in here, and I will be putting I put it in the YouTube chat, and I will also be this link will be in the show notes that we will be adding.
You don't want to play that kid's interview?
I am.
Oh. I thought you said you didn't want to play it.
I said I'm not going to play the whole thing because it's hours.
Gotcha.
But I wanted to stop here and play this interview because I thought he at least could give some perspective of to what's going on the ground tonight. This is just a little while ago.
Yeah, I mean, what we're seeing is an overwhelming and forceful police response to what, as far as we can tell, has been a music festival in the park in protest of Cop City. It seems from what we've seen that the police are responding violently to anybody who they think is associated with the movement to stop Cop City, without regard to anything that they might have done or any alleged crimes, but simply people who are present here and seem outspoken about their opposition to the facility. That seems to be who they're targeting, and that's really consistent with the. We're just hearing pops from in the forest, which is a little concerning.
I think I see fireworks.
I hope that that's fireworks.
I can hear some crackles.
Yeah. Okay, I see some sparkles now. Okay. Obviously, in normal circumstances, we might always assume that they're fireworks, but we know that in past militarized raids in this forest, they've killed people. So it's unfortunately a question we have to ask. What was I saying? Oh, this type of response is pretty consistent with the police approach that we've seen throughout the existence of this movement, which is something happens that police don't like, and then the authorities respond with a sort of blanket attack on the movement and anybody who they see as associated with it, regardless if they are responsible for some criminal thing or not, simply on the basis that they're politically associated with the movement against Cop City. So that we've seen, many people arrested and charged with domestic terrorism, with arson, with felony assault on an officer, who there's unquestionably no evidence that they've done these things. It's clear that they haven't, but they're being targeted and charged in this way to punish them for being associated with a movement that the police see and claim as a, quote, violent domestic extremist organization.
And if you don't mind, but if you do, you can just say so, talking about the potential RICO charges.
Sure. We have gotten kind of sort of like back channel information, which suggests that the authorities, particularly state prosecutors, intend to build some kind of RICO case against the Stop Cop City movement. And this is very concerning because it's effectively an abuse of a legal framework that's used to target criminal organizations, gangs, and mafias, but it's instead being applied to a broad political movement. It's wholly inappropriate, of course, and cannot possibly hold up in court. But we've seen so far a strategy of prosecutors effectively abusing the law in order to do anything that they can to try to take apart this movement, to demoralize it, to prevent it from functioning. And at each step of the way, as their attempts at intimidation, as their attempts at repression have failed to slow the momentum of the movement, they've ratcheted it up. So we're seeing more and more intensity and aggression on their part, more and more, illegal activity effectively from the police. Time will tell if this wave of repression serves to discourage the movement, but if I had to guess, I would say it's just going to make people more angry and more determined to stop the project.
And because this is the fifth week of action, and it just started yesterday morning. So there's supposed to be like a full week of things coming up, and like by your estimation, you expect like things to still be happening?
I have no idea, to be honest. I don't know what protesters are planning.
Yeah.
But from this response by police, it seems likely that cops are going to stop at nothing to prevent this week of action from happening and prevent further protests. We'll have to see.
Do you want to explain a little bit what the Atlanta Solidarity Fund does?
Sure, yeah. So we've existed in Atlanta since 2016. We are a civil liberties and anti-repression organization. So we started from this observation that police use repression, that is like arresting activists and charging them, as a way to slow the momentum and discourage political activism. And we think it's really important that there be an organized response to repression, an anti-repression effort, to make sure that when people face those kinds of arrests and charges, they're not left facing them alone, that the community is able to back them up and make sure that they have access to the resources that they need to fight their charges, to get bailed out of jail, etc. So we operate a bail fund. We connect protesters who get targeted with legal resources, both to fight their charges and to take the cops to court when they, illegally arrest people and violate people's rights. And we also provide a, sort of array of support for people who are dealing with criminal charges, such as if people need access to childcare, they need assistance getting transportation to court, all the many ways that legal targeting is designed to harm people, even if they ultimately beat their charges. The Solidarity Fund exists to counter that and to provide a way for the vast forces throughout society who actually support movements like these but aren't able to be on the front lines to take on some of that burden, so that the frontliners aren't left alone.
And do you see the building of the Atlanta police training facility as something that would like prevent people from being arrested because it's like training police more, or what do you see it like as the opposite?
Well, I think there are many other organizers against the project who probably have more and better things to say about this. But just from my personal perspective, it seems clear that this training facility is being built as a response to the mass uprisings of 2020 in Atlanta, and basically is an attempt to make sure that officers are trained and equipped with the sorts of violent crowd control techniques that are necessary to keep something like 2020 from ever happening again. And that's very concerning to us. As an organization that's dedicated to protecting the right to protest, we see this facility as a step in the other direction to further criminalize and make protest dangerous.
Is there anything else you want to add?
I mean, just a message for anybody who's thinking about standing up in protest of Cop City or any other, social justice issue. Know that the authorities are doing everything that they can to make you feel criminalized, to make you feel afraid and targeted. But at the same time, there are many people all throughout society who exist to back you up, to give you strength and protection. So don't feel discouraged by this sort of like overbearing militarized force that you see like right here now.
Thank you for speaking. So this massive vehicle that you see, I don't know if it's spray painted on or just the company name or what, but it says The Beast on it. It's a massive armored vehicle. I don't know how else to describe it.
So this car that was probably ordered to leave literally has nowhere to go.
Yeah, so there's, I think also people who are parked here can just go in and retrieve their vehicles and leave. Like for instance, if anyone on this side of the road like maybe needed to leave, I think maybe could go get their car. Anyway, you can click that and it'll bring you to a landing page where all probably the past 3 hours or so.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you guys are looking for more coverage of this, Unicorn Riot has been really great about their coverage with Cop City and other places. So please give them a follow.
Give them a follow.
And again, the music festival is still happening. We can hear someone is singing.
Here is their channel.
And
right
there's
here.
Music playing out of the sound system. Someone who had just left.
That must be a real buzzkill at the festy. You're at the festy, all spun out, having a good time, and then there's just cops everywhere.
Well, it was planned in protest to what they're doing there. That it's there for that reason. So, like, people knew that this was part of, that was the reason why they put that.
I thought it was
no,
an event that was already scheduled.
No,
that coincided.
I covered this in that article.
Okay, well, I was doing other stuff at the time.
So I guess there was some stuff going on there that they didn't like. The cops didn't like. I'll show you what was happening. So, like I said, if you weren't here at the beginning, this is we'll be covering this more as these events unfold and as this happens more. But yeah, apparently there was some fires and stuff, and like Molotov cocktails being thrown at where the facility is. I'm gonna play this, so I'm gonna mute us real quick. So yeah, they're doing this.
They're doing that. They burned the cops' tractors down and said, "No cone for you, piggy."
2 business partners have been missing for a week.
All right.
That's what they said. That's what I got from the film. From the video footage that you just showed, that was the vibe. That was the overall vibe of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and intercooled
Okay.
superchargers on those cars.
So
Bastards.
Fox 5 Atlanta covered this. And this is what that's what they were saying happened. And yeah, that was one of the construction sites. There was other fires apparently that happened there as well. Yeah. Look at all the resources, all those cops. Like, look at the resources. Imagine if these people actually were out there to help.
Money. They got a lot of money.
Imagine if they were actually out there to actually help the people.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what that's why they have all them fancy belts. Like that one girl right there, she got a fancy belt on with all kinds of gadgets. It's the helping gadgets. That's what they are, right? They're help you keep your hands behind your back.
No.
Help you, keep your legs together.
So if you have the means to help with this action, there's an Action Network. This is the link that I put into the YouTube chat. This will also be in the show notes. I'll add this in there. And this is a solidarity fund. You can find it really easily by just doing a search through whatever internet browser you use. But it helps with the activists who have been arrested participating in social justice movements and helps them get access to lawyers. It will go directly to supporting these facing repression. Please contribute what you can. But that is the information that I have about how they are raising the money. I cannot vouch for anybody with any of this stuff, obviously, but I want to make sure we add this to our list of things.
Of course, Drew, because clearly they weren't inebriated or anything, and they were cops, so they know when they know if they've had enough alcohol.
Wait, what are you talking about? You're not giving any context to what you're even responding.
Well, it was a comment in the chat. If
you have to.
He said, "We sat at a table last night watching the fights. I had to stare at a table of local sheriff, city, and state guys in plainclothes drinking. They all drove home." Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Standard. How much help?
Okay, Leo, you can't be on my lap. You're too squirmy. Yeah, imagine how that would help the individual families right now. Instead, they're spending it.
Yeah, how much was that? Was the SNAP benefits cut by? Again,
I don't know the total amount of money. I
wonder what the money was, because like 90 million is probably pretty good dent.
Well, the thing is that when it comes to SNAP, when you have benefits like SNAP, that go out into your I can't. When it goes out into your community, it actually creates jobs, and it ends up being a boost for your local economy. And people, I think the return on it is like every dollar is actually like $1.70 back into your community, because it creates the jobs and it helps all the things. So, there's that.
Steve Wolf Buttermaker biscuits.
Okay. So that's what's happening with everything with Cop City right now. That I'm aware of. We'll definitely be coming back to this at a later date. And at this point, we're going to get into some CIA woolly mammoths.
Excellent.
I don't know how to transition into this besides
that
just
was a
saying
beautiful- That was a beautiful segue.
we're gonna just segue into woolly mammoths.
I was gonna comment. Salty brings a good to see you there, Salty's digital drive. He brings up the point that Ukrainian pensions won't pay for themselves. You know, we're gonna need some more SNAP cuts. We're gonna need 90 million for cop, campgrounds or whatever the hell you call those. What do they call those? Cop parks.
Oh, Angela said I will watch the replay. We hope you sleep well, Lovey. And she said, and my SNAP is done, making $10 too much a month working.
That is always the friggin' thing. It's like the people who really need it. Oh, sorry, you just missed it.
Yeah, there's
Maybe
always
if
a
you didn't work
cutoff.
that overtime and try to fucking stay above water. Maybe you just you're just working too hard to get SNAP. I've seen that like at least 9 different times in my life. No exaggeration. Like so many people have said that to me. Like just barely make enough.
Lady Alex said the entire system needs to be destroyed. What will take its place? Who the
Yes.
fuck knows? But this hellscape cannot continue.
Thank you. And I cued Popeye earlier because people were talking about voting and things, and I was like, voting is waiting for Popeye to finish the thing. And he was talking about fuel injectors. I'm like, no, that's not it. You know the thing? Come on, Jack.
So, all right. So we're moving away from Cop City right now.
Good night, Lady Alex.
We are going to talk about the woolly mammoths and the CIA.
Woolly, woolly.
Would you think
Woolly,
that these
woolly.
two would be connected?
Woolly, woolly. Watch it now. Watch it, man. Watch it now. Woolly, woolly.
All right.
Woolly,
So,
woolly.
Steve.
Come on now. It was right there. It was there for the taking.
Okay. So we're going to have to clip this to make this a different. All right. So this has music to it, but I'm not going to play the music. I figure we probably want to say what things are that they're saying because there's no voice over to this.
Okay. Say the things that they're saying. So it's like Mystery Science Theater.
No.
Oh.
How do I? No, I
Fuck
want
the
it.
police. Coming straight from the underground. Brother got it bad because he's
No,
brown.
Steve.
What?
It's not what I'm trying to get you to do. Stop.
Oh, sorry.
Why is it?
Salty's quoting NWA in the chat. And God damn it. I get excited.
Okay, it's that one. All right. I'm gonna play this. But I'm gonna play it on mute, so we will still be on.
Chicky dog.
So the CIA appears to be investing in and resurrecting a hybrid of the long extinct woolly mammoth. Like, yes, this is a real thing. Like, this isn't.
Where the
That
fuck
might
is
be
the-
CGI, but they really want you to have the real one.
V.S. Adams wants to know where the fuck is the woolly mammoth emote.
Okay.
This is
In InQtel, a CIA-funded venture capital firm listed as Colossal Bioscientists is in its public portfolio.
Sure.
One of Colossal's goals is to use gene editing to use the woolly mammoth thunder upon the tundra once again. To see the woolly mammoth.
Thunder.
Colossal also hopes to
Tundra. Absolutely. I can see
Okay,
a
Steve,
whole...
I'm trying to read the things. Colossal also hopes to resurrect the Tasmanian tiger.
Wow.
De-extinction isn't a new concept, but 1993's Jurassic Park did try to warn us about it.
That does not look like a tiger.
Your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they didn't stop to think if they should.
The CIA's InQtel claims their interest in Colossal is practical. strategic is strategic. Oh my god, strategically, right? Strategically is less about the mammoths and more about the capability. The next wave of progress is Synbio will lead to advances in our ability to shape both form and function in organisms in the macroscopic level. Do you guys trust these guys? Do you guys trust the CIA to be messing with mammoths?
Well, of course. Come on, CIA is a steadfast group of American patriots carrying out the Lord's work.
I don't trust them.
No, I don't trust them at all. I was just kidding. I just wanted like the people monitoring us to think that, hey, what? Huh? Did he just kidding.
So I was like, all right, what's happening? How long has this been going on for? You know, like this has been around. This company's been around for a while. And this is the kind of thing that they're doing. And, you know, if you were here before, then you probably remember I was talking about the CRISPR cows. And now they want to have CRISPR mammoths.
CRISPR mammoths. And, you know, they didn't even realize it. But turns out the mammoth's favorite food was people.
Oh, my gosh. Okay. So Northwestern Law, Journal of International Law and Business, NQTEL, the Central Intelligence Agency, as a venture capitalist. Yeah. So, yeah.
Sure.
They're together. They're in on this.
Cohesion.
They're like, yeah, we, the CIA, you know.
We, the CIA, are down with genetically modifying woolly mammoths. Let's go, baby.
Okay, yeah, they are. The United States. It sounds crazy with the saying it out loud.
Mammoth steak. CIA brand mammoth steaks. Now at
the United States, oh my God, principal foreign intelligence agency and spy organization chartered the first government-sponsored venture capital firm, dubbed NQTEL, in February of 1999. NQTEL represents the 21st century fusion of spy efforts with a venture capital industry envisioned as its platform to expand the research and development (R&D) efforts of the CIA into the private sector. Why does we don't need the CIA in our private sector anymore?
The CIA has to do a really top secret undercover stuff where they need to be under your covers and stuff. That's why.
No, NQTEL uses CIA supplied funds to make strategic investments in startup companies developing commercially focused technologies that are of interest to the CIA and greater intelligence community. What do mammoths have to do with the Central Intelligence?
Well, you know, it's a little known fact. Well, most people don't realize the predecessor to the elephant, which is a very, very intelligent animal, is the woolly mammoth, who are said to be 10 or 20 times the brain capacity of a normal elephant. Today's Indian elephant, by comparison, is kind of like a third grader, and woolly mammoths are like, you know, doctorate holding college graduates.
Yeah.
As far as I've come to understand, at least in my own mind.
This comment contends, that the R&D collaboration between the public and private sectors is vital and should be encouraged. Such collaboration should not be in the form of venture capital firm chartered and sponsored by the CIA. The CIA is not equipped to succeed in the notoriously perilous business of venture capital, and heightened ethical concerns surround the making of government-sponsored equity investments in private companies. Indeed, NQTEL often invests in companies with international operations, vicariously and unnecessarily exposing the CIA and larger U.S. government to foreign entanglements.
Yeah, it's fully sector-based as far as the CIA and parts and infiltration and sectors, whatever.
I mean, this is weird.
It is kind of weird.
So they offer.
Unsettling.
They often invests in companies with international operations vicariously and unnecessarily exposing the CIA and larger U.S. government to foreign entanglements. The comment begins by tracing relevant development and funding of the U.S. spy efforts. Like, this just doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. So I'm like, is it just because like they want access to the area in which the woolly mammoths are going to be living? Because where are woolly mammoths going to live? Right?
Your house.
They lived in the cold and in the tundra.
Mm-hmm.
Are they going to be out in the wild, or are they just going to let them just be out in the wild? Like, what?
I have a related question. Now, if you have a woolly mammoth, which everyone knows is just a big fuzzy elephant that's bigger, a bigger fuzzy elephant, do you think that at one time all the creatures that we're used to, like cows, because they got fuzzy cows too, you know what I'm saying? Like, so were there all these fuzzy creatures, including us, like a Bigfoot or a Sam Squanch? If is a Sam Squanch the like kindred spirit to the woolly mammoth, because a Sam Squanch is
What you talking like
is inherently woolly.
the abominable snowman?
Yeah, it could be, you know, or Yeti.
Exactly, Popeye. Gastos.
But Gastos. I'm sorry, I have asthma. Don't laugh. Oh, I would take a Kawasaki 750 3-cylinder 2-stroke. Absolutely, that son of a woo. Let's go.
I mean, so like, what would the benefits be to the CIA?
Well, first of all, like we've already discussed, they'd have woolly mammoth steaks.
Yeah, I mean, is this a new
clubhouse.
food source?
I
Is this
mean-
a food source for them too? Is this like a big game hunting? Are they gonna
hunt them to eat them?
Well,
Like,
no.
There's one.
Is it? I mean,
got 'em.
well, how much are people gonna pay to hunt down a prehistoric animal?
Oh yeah, I'm sure lots, but I'm just saying, like, what is the sport in a woolly mammoth? Like, you can see him from like a quarter mile away. like there's one.
What's the sport when they kill a giraffe?
There's no support in it. That's why I think it's some things are just ridiculous on their face.
I mean, maybe it's for the ivory. Maybe it's for like, are they going to use them? Are they going to be a
ivory.
protected species?
Sounds better than crickets for lunch, John says.
Well, I mean, it's CRISPR technology that they're going to be using, and it's actually like they're going to be using, I guess, you know, we'll get into this a little bit more as we go into it, but like, I guess they're going to be using the DNA of like a mix, like so.
So you get your hybrid Indian elephant.
It's not
mammoth.
really going to be just a woolly
It's going to be
mammoth.
wishy-washy, like John Kerry.
I know. Are they going to like ride them in the battle? Are they going to train these woolly mammoths to like have like AI technology on them where they can control them, and then they can just go use them to go stomp us at protests?
Why
Like,
wouldn't they
no,
just
like
make robot ones?
like do they swim?
I'm sure they're excellent swimmers. Very aerodynamic.
I mean, there's a lot of
True.
questions.
True.
Is this gonna be like what is this exact? What are the possibilities that this could be?
Salty
We're
has
really here to like, you know.
He has a theory. He says they want to release them into the tundra to smash snow to ice to prevent the permafrost from melting.
Maybe. I mean, what are they going to eat? Are they going to put them in the wild?
I like how you didn't even question the logic of that at all. It just maybe that's okay.
Okay. Maybe they want to have them smash snow in
They
the
want
ice.
to turn Antarctica into a snow cone, and everything will be fine.
Maybe they want to use them to uncover the pyramids that are, I mean, you know, that don't exist.
Woolly bully, woolly bully.
Oh my God, Snork! There's going to be cocaine mammoths.
Oh, Jesus! I hadn't
co-
even thought of
we
that.
coined it here first.
Oh, good. That's why. Obviously, because the CIA is always working with the cartels. They got to have a new way to move the coke. There, we solved the
Drew
mystery.
thinks it's going to be food. You never know. I mean, like, I don't want to eat that.
We solved the mystery.
We solved it.
Woo! Way to go, everybody.
Popeye said, the fuck, you guys haven't seen the beginning of the Flintstones? Are they gonna put us into the ice age? Is that what's happening? Like, ew, imagine how much they smell. Okay, but I still think that we need to make, Steve, can you make a cocaine mammoth, like something? Can you make a meme?
I should have been on that today, and I really feel like I dropped the ball now.
Yeah. Snork, you're calling him out.
God damn.
Cat,
Snork.
get down. You're gonna knock all the plants over.
Consulting with Snork from now on before I post my thumbnails.
I know, right? I mean, yeah, it's a lot of meat. That's a lot. And it's CRISPR meat. So it's been genetically altered.
And you get, well, you know, you got brontosaurus burgers.
I mean, what is it? What is it? What did they eat back then? Oh, wait, he needs to not be on the.
They had like a pterodactyl.
No, he needs out.
He wants to lay down with the ferret.
Yeah, okay. He can't lay on him, Steve.
I know he can't lay.
As he proceeds to lay on him.
No, there's a ferret in here, dude. See, there's a ferret right there. You can't sleep on him. Okay.
You can't keep him warm. Okay, so this is the In-Q-Tel company. So they say they have visionary startups experiencing VCs dedicated to government professionals.
Cocaine, mammoth, ghost, nerve.
In-Q-Tel leads from the center of this matrix, connecting cutting-edge technology, strategic investments, and purpose to enhance and advance national security for the U.S. and its allies. So how are they going to do that? They're going to do that with a cocaine mammoth.
Of course. Dun, dun, dun. Cocaine mammoth. Brought to you in part by Meat Butter and the CIA.
This is just not. This is like I'm not impressed.
Not impressed. I would have been impressed had there been like, remember that scene in Jurassic Park with the little girl on the beach and there's like little tiny baby dinosaurs chasing her down the beach. They're so adorable and they're just like little tiny little dinosaurs that all hatched out of the eggs like 5 minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that would be way cooler.
So it says that investments typically range from $500,000 to $3 million and usually involve multiple government partners. Yeah, like, wow.
That's appropriate, Ghost Star.
So we need to make sure that we're bringing, and then 70% of their In-Q-Tel's portfolio companies have never done business with the government. No, but they're funded by them, but they're partnered with the government.
Partners.
It strengthens its partners' ability to see, reach, and use cutting-edge technology via the global lens, footprints, and long-term industrial knowledge gathered by supporting the national security community for more than 20 years.
20 years. In-Q-Tel identifies and adapts ready soon technologies. Ready soon. Pretty soon. When? I don't know. Soon. Okay, that's all you need to know. Technologies and products near the final stages of commercialization and do not require long-term developments from the ground up. They want to get your shit when it's already just about ready already. This means we find and deliver to U.S. government partners critical innovative technology quickly and cost-effectively to strengthen national security through new technologies. Because that's what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen, is strengthening national security as cheaply and as ruthlessly as possible.
And so more than 75% of In-Q-Tel's investments have been field tested by our government partners. Approximately 50% of our investments have been adopted for use.
50%.
Is that a good rate?
Hey, 50%, you know, it's either they was or they wasn't. Or they is or they ain't,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, so this is what's happening. This is the company.
Hey, Burrito, Steve breaks out a song again. Can we mute him for a moment until he finishes? Good luck.
I know Steve's like all hyped up tonight. I don't know. Oh wait, what are you saying, Snork? You don't know when you work for special operations?
You don't know when you work for special operations. Because it's a need to know basis, and you don't need to know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's alarming to me. Like I'm just like no. So I have a video. I'm gonna move this up and play. So we can learn a little bit. So I put this wonderful clip together. So it's like it's 5 minutes or so, but I feel like it is definitely something that will be helpful and help us understand.
I think I might be part woolly mammoth myself, because it says the woolly mammoth was herbivorous, consuming the stems and leaves of tundra plants and shrubs. I'm a lot like that in a lot of ways.
Okay.
Just saying.
So I'm going to mute us and play this video.
Distribute capital through investments, to own businesses and have power on company boards, with a view to spinning a profit in the future. However, not many people know that the CIA also have their own venture capital arm called In-Q-Tel. But why would an intelligence agency need to invest in startups, and how does In-Q-Tel work? Here's how it happened. In-Q-Tel was founded in 1999 to be a non-profit VC fund, funded by the intelligence community to extend the agency's R&D efforts into the private sector. Founded just around the time of the dot-com boom, as internet businesses were taking off, the CIA and other agencies started to think that they were possibly missing out on cutting-edge technology which may come in handy to defend the country in future. According to people in the know, the CIA did not and could not compete for IT innovation and talent with the same speed and agility that those in the commercial marketplace, whose businesses are driven by internet time and profit, could. So, in February 1999, the CIA launched In-Q-Tel with $28 million in order to take advantage of new technologies which would not normally want to associate themselves with the government. But by reversing the process and assisting entrepreneurs, In-Q-Tel focused on innovation and entrepreneurship rather than making quick money or putting pressure on businesses. This then helps the national security effort and has seen IQT launch new initiatives such as IQT Emerge, which is trying to make spy-like technology commercially available to encourage innovation and collaboration between public and private sectors. They also launched IQT International, IQT Labs to explore things that remain unsolved across public and private sectors, and B-Next to focus on biotech to work on infectious diseases. IQT is there to try to anticipate technology questions, and the VC fund is therefore relied upon as an organization that's trying to predict the future, always looking ahead to power their partners ahead of the technology curve, to ensure the national security of the US and its allies. IQT Emerge's launch in 2020 was initiated by Trump to collaborate with the private sector to improve research capabilities. They hope the funding will continue to rise under Biden after he pledged $9 billion to modernize technology across federal governments after the SolarWinds breach. Whilst the amount of money that In-Q-Tel has access to is unknown, what we do know is that they received $495.3 million over 5 years until the end of 2018. as they receive annual investment capital from the CIA. In 2005, they had $37 million with returns at 26%. And in 2014, it was suggested that they managed $327 million. In-Q-Tel invests between $500,000 to $3 million in startups, taking an advisory role on the company's board, which helps to guide product development, but also to discover news before anyone else. As a not-for-profit, any excess monies are then reinvested back into In-Q-Tel and sometimes even given to employees, who are forced to invest 20 to 40% of their salary into the funds. Now that we know more about In-Q-Tel's background, what do they actually invest in? Well, In-Q-Tel focuses its investments on security businesses. This includes working with SafeWeb to create an internet privacy product to protect confidential communications. They also work with IntelliSeek to develop a web-based intelligence agent and knowledge discovery technology. They've previously worked with Voxel 8, Arrivo, and Fuel 3D within 3D scanning and printing, and work in collaboration with Keyhole, the business behind Google Earth, as well as Palantir, Peter Thiel's secretive data business. Despite this revolutionary technology, there remains some resistance to change within the CIA, with not invented here syndrome a common problem. In-Q-Tel therefore set up their own interface center to act as the marketing link to promote IQT's projects within the CIA, but also to be the voice for the CIA within In-Q-Tel, in order to focus their efforts on certain technological solutions. Arguably the most important integration has been the Presidential Information Dissemination System, or PIDS, an electronic tool to brief the president-elect between presidential transitions. The Department for Defense and DARPA are calling for their own versions of In-Q-Tel to encourage innovation within the defense space. That's thanks to IQT's commercial partners, crediting them with feeding technological innovation and providing the ultimate seal of approval for businesses due to the toughest due diligence process. Do you think that In-Q-Tel is a good idea? Leave us a comment below with your thoughts, and that's how it happened. Thanks for watching.
Muted. Oh my god, Vicky.
Shit. Oh my god, that fucking cracked me up. Holy fuck.
Thank you. Yes, please guys give that video some love. I put the link in the YouTube chat and I'll be putting it in the show notes as well. I really appreciate that content creators' content and how they put it together and the effort they did to put it together. So I want to make sure that we show them some love. And so, you know what I mean? We're using their video for educational purposes, but I want to make sure that they get some love too. So I would appreciate if you guys would do that. This is the ear. Yes. What was their? What was their? Oops. And their channel's called How It Happened, and I put the link.
Yeah.
Down below, but yeah, How It Happened is their channel name, and I'm going to make sure we give them a like over here too. And that's the link to their channel as well again. So if you guys...
You fucking Popeye.
What?
Oh, man. Vicky made her comment. And
oh! Thank you.
Oh, funny.
We're not even talking conspiracy theories.
Well, some of them.
What? That the CIA has a venture capital firm?
No.
I mean, imagine that. I didn't think that those words would, come out of my mouth. They have a venture capital firm.
Sure.
And so here, to verify that, I could show you from the NIH website. Like, this is a real thing. Let me share this because I like to bring my receipts. There we go. So this is the DHS.gov. So this is the science of science and technology, Homeland Security.
Homeland Security.
And here it is in QTEL engagement. Department of Homeland Security, DHS,
Intel.
Science and Technology is like committed to providing the best scientific R&D and test evaluation support and find innovative and cutting edge technology for our Department of Homeland Security, DHS. One such partnership is DHS's work with InQTEL. IQT is the independent. How independent are they?
Independent
Non-profit strategic investor with the CIA and the broader U.S. intelligence community, including DHS. So it's right here.
Independent Intel engagement, yeah.
They got to keep the pulse on innovation.
Somebody give Popeye some blueberries. He's gonna do some QTEL engagement.
Oh my gosh. Okay, stop. I'm not gonna be able to. So if you want any more information on this, I'll be putting the website in with the show notes as well. And I'll drop it in the YouTube chat in case you guys want to grab this. And you can see right there that it is connected directly to our government.
InQTEL engagement. InQTEL engagement. Independent InQTEL engagement.
And going back a little bit further. So I'm looking into this, going like, what's happening? What's happening with these woolly mammoths? We're just looking at the background of this company right now. And this is what the 20 plus InQTEL investments said about taking the CIA's money. And this is from July of 2017. I like how there's like animation right here. The guy, you see him?
He's
like,
doing some InQTEL engagement.
Yeah. So intelligence courtesy of the IRS. Will the public tax documents raise many more questions than they answer? Some insight can be found regardless of the organization's tight-lipped stance towards the press. By all accounts, InQTEL is thriving. During 2014, executives managed $327 million in net assets, up from $254 million in the beginning of 2014 fiscal year, according to the latest filings available from the IRS. So I wanted to show you like the other companies. These are all the startups.
Start me up. Start me up and never stop.
So out of the companies that they talked to, these are the ones that did not comment. Look at all these companies.
Something like that. Start it up.
They're out there everywhere, and it's like I don't know how independent you can be when all of these companies are somehow connected. Just something to pay attention to.
I can't read the chat. My eyes are watering.
Why?
Popeye's laughing too hard. A Sam Squanch in Russia has a half-breed kid. Dad? Paul? Is that you?
So the InQ tell people in their own words of who they are, because we're gonna.
See, let me please explain the Popeye thing, because the blueberries, Camp Troy Kate got 8 pounds of blueberries, right? And she didn't catch the part where Vicky was talking about understanding how a Kegel works, picking up a blueberry one at a time, and Popeye and the 8 pounds of blueberries, and that's why his eyes are watering, because he's laughing so hard because it was a funny scenario. 8 pounds of Kegels, that's a lot of blueberries. I'm just saying, it seemed like a lot.
That's interesting.
All
okay.
right.
I don't even know what to think of that right now.
Okay.
Because I'm
moving on.
Middle of this. I'm gonna file that in the back. All right. We're gonna mute.
I think InQtel is the only vehicle that sits at the intersection set of government, venture capital, and the startup community.
Sitting at the intersection of these two worlds that don't talk to each other and don't really understand each other, being trusted by both of them, that's really the secret sauce of InQtel.
The formula is really about imagination.
Did he just say we trusted him?
What? CIA guy.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, the public, they trust both of us.
Look at trust stuff.
No.
So much.
And as much as anything else, it's about listening to our customers and their requirements and imagining a different solution. And then it's about tapping the innovation of the startup community to deliver on that vision.
We also feel like we can serve as an early warning, if you will, to those agencies about what technology is coming down the pike.
In my previous role, when I would encounter a really slick technology, I would ask somebody, how did we get this? And they would say, oh, it's this company called InQtel that allows us to have access to these sorts of technologies.
A company called Keyhole, which was a user of satellite imagery. It was a user of geopositional data. It was a user of the internet. It later became the foundational platform for a thing called Google Earth.
We invested in a really interesting magnetics company, and they came up with a really clever way to program magnetics. We were able to give the government something that they've been trying to do for a very long time.
There's a gentleman who had a really large data set, 700 million rows of some information. We're running this technology through traditional databases, and they couldn't get the models to complete. And they happened to have one of the InQtel portfolio companies operating in a pilot mode. And he thought, oh, what the heck, we'll put the data in there and see if we can, tease this question out. So they loaded up this gigantic data set and they asked the question of this new GPU database, and they had the answer in 35 milliseconds.
InQtel only has one company, venture company, making more investments every year. That's Google Ventures. The experiment has been a wild success beyond anything like we could have thought of, because in absolute terms, country's a lot safer.
I think that over the years, InQtel is just becoming more of a household name as a solver of really hard problems.
We're safer.
They make us safe and they solve the problems.
How are they going to make us safer?
They're making us safer with Sam Squanches and woolly mammoths and and the things that let you magnetically pick up blueberries or whatever. I don't know, all kinds of fancy technology. Because you can trust them.
Are you guys ready for these guys? I think you're ready.
Ready or not.
You ready to see these the cocaine mammoth?
Cocaine mammoth, he was my friend. Cocaine mammoth, he's doing lines again. Cocaine mammoth, won't you stop walking around? Cocaine mammoth won't ever sit down.
Hello, old friends.
Oh, you look cold, buddy.
Burr. It's not snow on his tusks. It's really the cocaine.
That's where the cocaine is. That's where the cocaine is. That's where the cocaine is. If anybody asks you, it's his. That's where the cocaine is. It's a great hiding spot, it is. If you hollow one out, you could fit like 5 keys in that son of a bitch.
Yeah, it's good to see you again, old friend. Aggravated progressive said bong mammoth horns. I'll be rich. You got Vicky laughing.
Yeah. I wish I had like a mouth harp so I could be like bong, bong, bong,
Okay,
the whole
so
time.
let's get back to this.
Woo.
So this is a Popular Mechanics article from January 30th, 2023. Scientists are
reincarnating
the woolly mammoth to return in 4 years. I don't know why 4 years. It seems like an odd, like,
4 years, exactly 4 years from this date. Well, they started to hatch one in a little petri dish, and they figured by the time 4 years goes by, it'll be a whole one.
I mean, well, how long is an elephant baby? How long is an elephant baby in utero? I believe it is a couple of years.
I think it's like, yeah, I don't think it's
Okay,
that
Steve,
many.
he needs to get off of him.
Get off
He's hurting him.
Get off of him.
Oh my gosh. Sorry, Leo is not cooperating with Bonkers. No, he needs to get out of there. He
Yeah, lay down. Leave the ferret alone.
He's just laying too close to him. He gets overheated.
There you go. Okay. Everybody's all not heated up.
Okay.
Relax. All right.
Okay, so Colossal recently added $60 million in funding to move towards a 2027 de-extinction of the woolly mammoth. The Dallas-based company is now working to edit the genes for the reincarnation of the animal. Colossal planned to reintroduce the woolly mammoth into Russia, but that may shift. Oh,
It's really, you know what it is?
wait.
Okay. Go ahead.
Did you hear that? The Colossal planned to reintroduce the woolly mammoth into Russia,
Oh, right.
but that may shift. Why Russia?
Well, because Siberia. Because reasons.
Yeah, but can we just do that? Like, we're just like, you know, in the US. We're just like,
well, it's a sovereign country, so of course we can.
we're just gonna like go into Russia and be like, here's some woolly mammoths.
Yeah, they'll be like, suck on this. You want to kick Ukraine's ass? Have some woolly mammoths, bitch.
What the hell? Like, I don't
Have some
understand.
cocaine mammoths.
No,
motherfuckers.
they don't. Like, that's like what?
Yeah.
So they just like want to go and drop it off. Like, you know, do they? You know, do we know anything about like what? If they could even sustain themselves, or if they would bring new disease, or what it could do to, you know, the population, or anything like all these ethical questions. Like, so the long dead woolly mammoth will make its return from extinction by 2027. This is Colossal, the biotech company actively working to reincarnate the ancient beast. Last year, the Dallas-based firm scored an additional $60 million in funding to continue the mammoth gene editing work it started in 2021. Everything is like surrounded around this same time period. So the mammoth gene editing work it started in 2021. If successful, not only will Colossal bring back an extinct species, one of the company dubs a cold-resistant elephant, but it will also reintroduce the woolly mammoth to the same ecosystem in which it once lived, in an effort to fight climate change.
Mm-hmm.
According to a recent Medium post. Climate change, huh? What? How is this woolly mammoth gonna affect climate change?
Well, I think Salty tried to explain it. You get him to stand on the Antarctica and crush the ice, so it stops the perma. I don't know. I don't understand the physics of it exactly.
Okay, so back to the article. Colossal calls the woolly mammoth's vast migration patterns an active part in preserving the health of the Arctic, and also bringing the animal back to life can have a beneficial impact on the health of the world's ecosystem. Okay. Well,
Nice.
Colossal originally hoped to reintroduce the woolly mammoths into Siberia. The company may explore other options based on current political framework of the world. Oh, so it's going to be Russia's fault.
Well, clearly, whatever happens, any eventuality is going to be Russia's fault. Or
It's just automatically like they're setting that up already. They're like, I don't know if we can have the woolly mammoths in Russia now.
you know they have woolly
Because
mammoths.
politics.
They have the best woolly mammoths in Russia.
Because
Only the good ones.
politics.
It's cheaper to resurrect mammoths than it is to abolish the use of fossil fuels. Duh. That's what Yep said.
Oh my
I
gosh.
believe that's correct.
So the woolly mammoth's
Good night,
DNA
Drizzles.
is 99.6% matched to the Asian elephant, which leads Colossal to believe it's well on its way towards achieving its goal. In the minds of many, this creature is gone forever, the company says, but not in the mind of our scientists, nor the labs of our company. We're always in the process of de-extinction of the wool. We're already in the process of the de-extinction of the woolly mammoth. Our teams have collected viable DNA samples and are editing the genes that will allow this wonderful megafauna to once again thunder through the Arctic. What? Though gene editing Colossal scientists will eventually create an embryo of a woolly mammoth, they will place in the embryo of an African elephant to take advantage of its size and allow it to give birth in the new woolly mammoth. Oh my gosh. The eventual goal is to then repopulate parts of the Arctic with the new woolly mammoth and strengthen local plant life with the migration patterns and dietary habits of the beast. If Colossal proves successful in reincarnating the woolly mammoth, Dodo the the Tasmanian tiger.
Tasmanian tiger.
Expect a variety of new ethical questions to arise on how to handle the creature and potential reproduction issues.
Steve doesn't have the reproductive whatchamacallits to facilitate that mammoth birth, although I am intrigued.
This is
hold on. I have to ask something. Aggravated progressive says Mitch had good coke, so credit where credit's due. And actually, he said, well, actually, his wife. So you're doing blow with the McConnells? Is that what? Is this? Have you been smoking woolly mammoth fur? What is happening with you, man? Jesus, these McConnells. You can't trust them to have good coke. What? Sons of bitches.
So it's not just the woolly mammoth. They're not stopping there.
Not stopping there. Well, why would they? They could make a Tyrannosaurus Rex, man. Could eat everybody that they didn't like in Russia.
Well, it says
China.
this is from science.org. And they say bringing back the woolly mammoth and other extinct creatures may be impossible.
Uh-huh.
And this was from the 9th of March in 2022, so last year.
I'm not sure. Yepek says we can make it so because science. But I think I don't have the right parts.
So capturing enough of the extinct rat's genome to recreate it turned out to be harder than scientists thought.
What is that?
That is a rat.
Is it a rat? Is it like a giant rat? Like a super dinosaur rat that's 11 feet long?
I don't know.
Kind of looks like it is, doesn't
Like
it?
I didn't go into all of these super.
If you just go by the scale of the, I
Well,
don't know.
Depends.
At first, I thought it was like one of those giant
Maybe it will say.
dinosaur rats. What do you call that? Dino rat?
Oh.
Dino? We call it a dino, right?
An extinct rat once lived on an island in the Indian Ocean and may have put the kibosh on scientists' dreams of
Talking about.
resurrecting more famous extinct animals like the woolly mammoth. The Christmas Island rat disappeared just over 100 years ago, but researchers now say even its detailed genome isn't complete enough to bring it back to life. So this says the work shows both how wonderfully close and yet how devastatingly far scientists are from being able to bring back extinct species by genetically transforming a close relative in what they call de-extinction. And that's from Douglas Macaulay and ecologist at the University of California, Santa Barbara, who is not involved with the study.
Leo, what is your deal, dude? What are you barking about? He's like staring at me. I'm like, playing the guitar, dude. You can't sit on my lap. I'm not playing the guitar. You can't do it.
See, I lost my place.
Don't introduce marmots. Are they talking about making marmots? Oh, see, that's what the CIA is really up to, is making the marmots to infiltrate the time-space continuum in the CERN. Be concerned, everybody.
To bring back an extinct species, scientists would need first a sequence of genome, then edit the DNA of the close living relative to match it. Next comes the challenge of making embryos, which the revised genome, and bringing them to term in a living surrogate mother. So far, scientists have sequenced the genomes of about 20 extinct species, including a cave bear, passenger pigeon, and several types of mammoths and moas.
Cave bear.
Is that how they got cocaine bear?
Cave bear, cocaine.
We haven't
bear.
seen the movie, so we're completely
I don't
speculating.
know. I don't know the premise.
But no one has yet reported recreating the extinct genome in a living relative. Okay, so like they're like, we don't know if they're gonna be able to do it because
maybe
because they tried to do it with the Christmas rat. They tried to do it with a Christmas rat. Why would they call it a Christmas Island rat? Like, why would they name it that? Oh my god. So I guess that when they were trying to do this before, they were comparing the two genomes, and about 5% of the Christmas Island rat's genome was still missing. So they're saying that they might not be able to do it because 5% is a big difference, and the human genome differs by just 1% than those from chimps. So, it's interesting. Like always, I will put the link in the description. And let's see, what else did I have? What else did I find here? Yes. We were talking about this earlier. We hinted at this, that they were talking about bringing back the dodo bird. Why these things in particular, though, is what I wonder. Like, why do they pick certain things to make be the animal that they're getting back? Oh, if they said 4 years, they already have a complete set of the DNA. Yeah, who knows? This is how they bring, the people that got their heads friggin' frozen. Is like how they unthaw the people, the cryogenically frozen people, and they bring them back. Is that what's gonna happen? What do you think? Yepex is like fried dodo bird. Sounds delicious.
It's what's for dinner.
I know,
It's just the game of Yahtzee that you have to play with the genetic sequencing that kind of freaks me out, But sure, some tundra steaks and.
I mean, what kind of effect that have on people eating it now if they did eat these animals, or what about other animals eating these? Because it's a new thing in the ecosystem too. Are they thinking we'll have the mammoths so that the polar bears can kill them and eat them or something? You know what I mean? I don't know. I have more questions than I have answers. Would you eat prehistoric bird eggs?
Well, if they were delicious.
We should do that as a survey. Can you do it? Are you on
no, I can't do it. I cannot do it.
Why?
Well, maybe I can, but not right now. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe we do it tomorrow. I don't know. No, because it's signing me in as me over here, and no, we do it different. I cannot. You do with your phone.
Oh, no, I don't want to.
Well, don't do it then.
Why are you talking like
I don't know. I feel like I should talk like this. So people understand they should not eat dodo bird eggs, even if they are $9,000 a piece.
Yeah, no, I can't get it on there. So if you guys would eat, let me know. Will you guys eat dodo bird eggs? Just send me a yes or a no.
Give us a 1 or a 2.
A 1 or a 2. Oh, so 1 is yes and 2 is no.
That's right.
So a 1 if you would eat a dodo bird egg. 2 if you would not.
Would you eat
I would
a
not
dodo
eat a
bird
dodo.
egg?
No.
Would you eat a dodo bird egg? I think I might eat a dodo bird egg if I was really hungry, or maybe they taste delicious in an omelet.
Ew. And see, look, there's a parrot just like Sunshine right behind the dodo bird. Do you see it? Over on the right?
I do.
Because parrots are from ancient times.
Most people are saying, nah. But some people are saying, sure. Like Agro said, yeah.
No, my God, I didn't forget. I'm just
Yep
not
said
on the.
yeah.
I'm not. Am I signed in over here?
Miguel said, no way, Jose. And
Do you
Camp
want me
Story
to-
Kate said, no way, Jose. She didn't say Jose, though. She said,
I wasn't putting enough effort into it, Miguel.
I forgot how to do polls. You got to press the button.
No.
It's a little plus button on your thing on the chat. Super easy.
Fine.
Plus.
Am I signed in? I'm signed in as you over here.
I know, but you can sign in as me. You can say switch, and you see switch account, and your name is right there.
I'm gonna put the effort in for you guys. So okay, and now what do I do?
On the bottom of the chat, once it loads up there, it'll show you there'll be a plus if you're signing as you.
Mm-hmm.
On the chat, you see, you got to turn off the sound, but then you can add a poll or a question.
Okay.
Would you eat a dodo bird, a prehistoric dodo bird's eggs?
Is it D-O? D-O? Like...
D-O-D-O. You have to make the Homer sound twice. Ever. Do a poll, disinfect it, lube it up, and then have at it, she said. He said. They said.
Okay. I put it up there.
Would you eat a dodo bird egg? I'm going to have to say yes. I mean, I think I might. I've had other ones that. Why am I trying to press on it? You can't press on it. It's not a touch screen, Steve. Oh. So far, it's looking pretty decided.
It's at no. Well, I mean, it's at
There's only
71% no. Oh, it's changing.
The votes are changing. You got 8 votes in. Everybody, please vote if you are.
Yeah,
so
we'll
inclined.
leave the poll up.
But we're not gonna vote shame you, or dodo bird shame you.
Yeah, no shame.
No shame in this game. This insane game of dodo birds and eggs.
See, aren't the polls fun?
Wait.
Oh, it's even. It's
Huevos.
even,
50-50.
exactly even.
Now people can manipulate it though. You know that, right?
What do you mean?
You can be like, well,
No, you can't unvote. Once you vote, you vote.
I know. But somebody who's patient and waits says, oh, if I vote yes, it'll be 50-50. See, now it's 42-58.
Oh. See, I was thinking that too. I said before the stream, I was like, oh, I gotta think of a question to do as a poll, and then I totally forgot. Vicky said, I don't take polls, remember? Cambridge Analytica.
Oh, boy. It's still winning. No is still winning, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I can't vote on it, but I would be a no also.
No. All right, I'm dismissing that poll. You're going to have to tell me who wins.
What?
I just missed it.
Well, I'm going to go back to the article, so I'm not going to see it. It's at 57% no, 43 yes. And we only have 14 votes so far. There's at least there's more people watching.
It's like
so
20 people watching. Come on, people,
and
vote.
I don't know if anyone's over on Rumble that's not. It's on a
the
YouTube.
most important election of our lifetimes.
So let's go into this article from Fortune. And
Dodo birds are an existential threat to humanity.
This is from March 1st, 2023. Bringing back the ancient dodo bird is an ethical minefield, and de-extinction probably isn't in the fairy tale you think. Isn't the fairy tale you think it is? Uh-oh.
Which fairy tale is this?
So that image that was up there is published in 1870. It's no secret that human activities have put many of this planet's inhabitants in danger. Extinctions are happening in a drastically faster rate than they have over the past tens of millions of years. An estimated quarter of a species on Earth are at risk of being lost many decades. So, you would think full stop right there. So it would be like, yeah, so let's do things so that we don't keep causing the extinction of animals and keep causing our own extinction, right? That's where I would go.
Stop using fossil fuels. What are you, crazy, man?
Well, no, I'm just I think that we could use things in smarter, more efficient ways.
Really? What is this efficiency you speak of?
Well, I think there's a lot of really smart people, and if we get all those smart people to really start discussing what is real and what's fake about things, and having real conversations, then we could find out where we can get a consensus of something.
Can't we just heap everything onto one person? Can't we just say YepX is in charge of all of it, and then if they fail, it's all their fault?
No.
Why not? God damn it.
Because I'm for
Oh, you want things to be equal.
And what's integrity and transparency and truth.
Stop saying those gross words.
So the Colossal, a biotechnology company that garnered headlines for its plan to de-extinct the woolly mammoth, is now attempting to bring back the famously dead dodo bird. The company said its goal is to create a population of undead dodos to put on the Indian Ocean island of Mauritius. Am I saying that right? Mauritius?
Woolly mammoth is dodo birds. Mauritius. I don't know either. Kate, can't surround me. Kate, I demand a recount on that last poll because she voted twice, and that's probably illegal or something. I don't know. Is that illegal? Are there rules?
I don't know. I can't even see it right now.
All right.
So, where the hefty flightless creatures lived before humans drove them to the extinction in the 1600s.
Whoa.
Heavy birds. Hefty. No, I call them hefty flightless creatures.
The chat's calling for Kate to go to jail. I think that's a little much. I think YouTube jail is no place for your friends. You don't wish that on your worst enemy.
Let's see. What's the poll doing? We only have 14 votes, and the no's have it so far. We are at 57% for no,
7%,
and at 43% for the yes.
It's pretty close.
So we'll keep that there in case anyone else would like to participate in the poll.
All right.
So, environmental humanists. As environmental humanists, we study the mortality of different conservation interventions, and we are interested in how de-extinction might change the ways people think about their responsibilities towards nature. I don't know. They're gene edited though, and all that. Like, do we know what that is going to do in the long run and how that affects people? And I mean, like, are scientists playing God?
Well, obviously, but I'm sure it'll be fine.
Oh. One of us, Ben, is a professor of environmental ethics who explores the ethics of de-extinction in his 2018 book, The Fall of the Wild. The other, Risa, is a doctoral student researching how de-extinction might change public's perceptions about extinctions, especially its emotional impact. What is de-extinction is and isn't. So de-extinction is not exactly what it sounds like. Rather than bringing back lost species,
De-extinctions is not the same as
it's more of a process to create their high-tech lookalikes.
Oh, it's a sort of pseudo woolly mammoth, cocaine mammoth. Kate found the hole in the matrix with the voting. You just open 2 devices and bingo. Bingo.
Does it really work that way?
I think so. I think you could probably vote twice.
See if you can from your phone.
Okay.
So I can't vote at all.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try.
And see if it changes it.
Try.
It says 14 votes
Just
right now.
a little bit harder. I'm gonna try it. See if it'll work, but I don't know.
Maybe God is a scientist.
Yeah, it's gonna let me vote. I'm pretty sure. Did it let me vote? Did it do anything?
No.
Okay, then I can't. It won't.
I don't know if it changed. Did you change your vote? Like it would have changed. It was 57 to 43, right?
Yeah, I voted the same amount.
Well, let me see what it says here. No, it didn't. It's the same amount of people, so it doesn't count. Even if you do it again, it doesn't count. So that's good.
Okay. Good to know.
So there we go. I mean, if you have different accounts, you could technically do it
Yeah,
that
if
way.
one's accounts are different, then
So, okay, so they're saying it's like bringing back a lookalike. They're high-tech lookalikes. What does that mean?
it's like when your brother-in-law looks a lot like George Clooney. You're like, look, it's George Clooney, and everybody in the bar is like, yeah, it's George Clooney. Look at him. Oh, he's fucking drinking. It's not George Clooney.
It's like all the Elvis impersonators.
It's close. He does the scene from the movie, and everybody's convinced, but no, it's really not him.
So instead they would edit the genes of a pigeon that is its closest relative, which contains a pigeon's full set of DNA and some of the most important dodo genes, taken from the preserved dodo remains. Then they can put the genome into an egg cell and let the egg develop into an organism that should look like a dodo. But the organism wouldn't be genetically identical to the dodo, nor would it have any other dodos to teach it how to act like it will actually be a dodo. Yeah, that's weird because when you factor that in, right?
This is what happened the last time we started messing with dodos. That's the last of the dodos right there. It's the last of the dodos sitting on your shoulder. Last of the dodos, don't don't mind the weird odor.
Okay.
All right.
So yeah, like it's really interesting to think like that too, because like the animals teach each other to teach their young. So it has to start somewhere, right? With something. That it was always taught from something. So I guess that means the chicken came first. We've solved it.
Chicken Dodo. I see.
All right. I had to teach you how to be a chicken. Or else how would the chicken know how to be a chicken? Did we solve the mystery finally? I think we did. Let me know. Did we solve the mystery? Colosso hasn't successfully created a de-extinct creature, any de-extinct creatures yet. That just does not flow out of the mouth easy. Colosso hasn't successfully created any de-extinct creatures yet. Creatures. Nor have any other scientists, unless you count the team that cloned. What the heck? The Pyrene Ivex in 2003? But it died within minutes, and yet the Colossal seemed confident, saying it hopes to de-extinct Tasmanian tigers by 2025 and woolly mammoths by 2027. They're certainly, oh my god, amassing a fortune to make it happen. Since its founding in 2021, Colossal has raised over $225 million from tech investors, Paris Hilton, and even the CIA-backed venture capital firm.
Paris.
Supporters have argued that de-extinction will eventually help restore ecosystems, bringing back passenger pigeons that could help restore forests in the northeastern United States, for example, while the woolly mammoth proxies could help restore the Siberian steppe and keep permafrost frozen.
Of course.
Some de-extinction advocates have also have positioned their projects as potential long-term solutions to combating mass biodiversity loss in general.
Yeah. Dodo birds, man.
I mean, is this how they're gonna like thaw out, like, you know, Disney's head?
Yes.
And bring them back to life? But many ecologists and ethics have highlighted the uncertainty around introducing these novel creatures into the wild. Even if they de-extinct dodos did act more or less like their extinct counterparts, it's hard to know how a habit that hasn't had a dodo-like birds in it for 350 years would be affected by this new species. Opponents have pushed back even more strongly against the claims that de-extinction could be a widespread solution, pointing out how bringing back one species at a time would not be enough to curb the Earth's losses. Other issues include how to decide where these de-extinct creatures would live, as well as animal welfare concerns of potential surrogate animals that would be impregnated, and the de-extinct creatures themselves, which never asked to be brought back. I mean, there's a lot to this, and they're just like, we're doing it. Like, what? Shouldn't there be like some kind of public conversation about where science kind of goes? especially when it affects everybody. Like, as if we haven't seen the Hollywood movies to show that this is probably a bad idea. So to us, one of the more interesting questions about de-extinction has to do with how it changes the way people think about extinction. Some de-extinction boosters have argued that de-extinction could create more hopeful story about humans' ability to combat mass extinction. Many others share the desire for more inspiring conservation stories, too. Some conservationists and oh my god.
Good night, Snork.
Is it nice, Snorky?
Don't let the AI do your dreaming. Dream for yourself, man.
Yeah.
Don't just put in the codes because it's cheating.
The psychologists have argued that environmentalists need more positivity to get people engaged with environmental issues. Others, however, say de-extinction isn't hopeful but misleading. Many words that de-extinction actually risks making humans less inclined to care about ongoing extinctions.
How does that meeting go exactly when you pitch in this idea? If we just get woolly mammoths, everybody will be on board.
Yeah, why the woolly mammoth?
I don't know. Is that the highest that polled the highest in the test groups?
Can we talk to who was in that think tank? Like, where did this you know what I mean? Just to be a fly on that wall, you know. I mean, they have gene edited freaking mosquitoes. So let's see. So others, however, say de-extinction isn't hopeful but misleading. Many worry that de-extinction actually risks making humans less inclined to care about other ongoing extinctions. And I think that that's true. Because people won't know what the long-term, they'll be like, oh, it's fine. We can hunt these trophy animals because it's one of the de-extinction ones. Right?
Yeah.
We won't have to worry about that because we can de-extinct them if we make them go extinct. And someone gets to take out the last.
It's win-win.
Like I don't see more humanity coming about from this. Like I don't see it being a positive in the way that the way that life is treated right now. I did a whole Twitter thread on that earlier. Just like how I feel like there's just, this is why we're in the society that we're in, is because of the lack of just thought for other life. But that's a whole other thing. However, okay, so it's hard to rally troops with the message of unrelenting guilt and despair, but reckoning with those difficult emotions can be useful for reflecting on humanity's responsibilities, especially considering that extinction, is our fault to begin with, and since de-extinction isn't really resurrecting anything. Well, it's not necessarily our fault if it happened before we were alive, but way to put the guilt on people, In fact, some scholars argue that humans really need to learn to grieve extinct species. Grief, they say, is a transformative process that helps people recognize the value of what's been lost and appreciate what's left. Grief will never be enough without action, but we believe learning how to grieve together can be more responsible and honest way to cope with extinction than pretending it can simply be undone. So, which is better at motivating care for the environment, positive or negative stories? There are still no sure answers, and testing their impact on audiences today is a key part of Arisa's research, perhaps it can help conservationists at large learn how to tell more motivational stories, but it will take some time to get there. In the meantime, we suggest that de-extinction scientists and advocates call de-extinction what it really is, not resurrecting extinct species, but creating their replacements.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I thought that was really well done. Really, really well done.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of this? Like, this is,
What if I had a dodo bird? Oh, what if we had dodo birds? I don't know. I bet their eggs are enormous.
Well, V.S. Adams said, why is this super creeping me out? They have way too much money on their hands. Yeah. It just shows that we always have the resources to help people.
Yeah.
It's just, this is where the resources are going. It's things like this, as opposed to helping humanity. This is where the resources are going. It's like, what's more important? The human lives that are living right now, that are suffering, that need food, that need housing, that need medical care. What's more important? That, or bringing back the dodo and the woolly mammoth? Because this is where our government is thinking that this is where the government is like, yeah, we're going to invest in this. Not the people. They don't want people to have a utopia. They don't want people to, to get along and to,
How are they supposed to make money off of that? Everybody getting along and being peaceful and helping each other. That just sounds like poor people talk.
Imagine, like,
it is. That's like that. I don't know. That's the mindset. It's like, oh, well, you can't do that because then everybody will be able to do this. And the idea of, anything positive that could benefit a lot of people is garbage. They're just like, we'll just spend, it would take $20 million they started with in the 90s. How good do you think their company's doing now? Can we check that
and
out?
how much
It's not
money
publicly traded, right?
how much money are they getting?
Is it a
Like,
publicly traded company? We should, you could see what are their stocks going for. I want to buy into that. How's the CIA doing financially? That's what I want to know.
Yeah. Kate said, to me, it sounds like these scientists are just trying to get grant money and keep jobs. In reality, they're just recreating regenerative architecture. Yeah. Or agriculture. Oh my gosh. Yeah, animal welfare. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's socialism, and conservatives, right wingers won't have that.
Yeah.
Well, too bad. Popeye said because some senator's kid was in second grade and that was his favorite animal. That's
Sure.
probably why. Yeah, I agree, John. I absolutely think that we should all have a say in bringing any animals back from the past or any of these larger things. Like, it shouldn't be just whatever a select few decide. That's just not okay. I'm not okay with that. You know?
Nope.
Yeah, who knows what would happen? These animals could, you know what I mean? They could harm us. They, you know, like, they have no idea. You know, maybe there's some like ancient disease that awakens within, you know what I mean? Like, we think we know, but do we really know? And how much do we really know? Because, you know, science is ever evolving. It's never written in stone.
It's true.
Yeah, no, we don't have democracy. Can you imagine like it actually having to have like global democracy with this? Like a global like consensus? Like, can we move forward with, you know, going to Mars? Let's have a global consensus. Are we going to focus on that globally? Jenna Colby said de-extinct all the animals.
Yes.
Jenna, would you eat the animals? Would you eat their eggs or anything?
Dodo eggs.
Did you do our poll?
Dodo eggs.
Oh, the poll. We have 15 votes and it's 60% no. Oh, no. It just changed. We have 16 votes. Okay. So it's at no is at 56% and yes is at 44 now with 16 votes.
Well.
So you guys should check out the poll.
I think Jenna was saying no. No. Yes. She's confusing me. I don't know.
Salty said synthetic might be the natural part of evolution. Yeah, as we're made of plastic, right?
Makes sense.
I don't think we should be able to go colonize another freaking planet. Like, I don't think that we should be able to do that. I really don't. I feel like, you know, we need to take care of the one we're on. Like, clean up our own mess. Okay, so she said, bring them back. She will not eat them, bring them back.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, shit. So they actually found a baby mammoth. Like,
baby mama.
Like, they preserved, like, it's preserved and everything.
Yoda, my baby mama.
So I'm going to show you guys this preserved baby mammoth.
It's just my baby.
It's weird looking, so if it bothers you, I'm sorry, but it is preserved.
Good night, Popeye.
Good night, Popeye. So here is the mummified baby woolly mammoth with hair and skin nearly perfectly preserved, it says. I mean, this is crazy. You know what I mean? Something that old. So let me see. When was this from? This was from July of 2022. It's Unilad. So a miner discovered a nearly complete mummified baby woolly mammoth. It was far north of Canada in the Klondike Goldfinch field, or no, yeah, Gold Fields. Oh my gosh! And the 21st of June, 2022. And they named them something. I can
Imagine being that kid.
big
like,
baby animal is what it
finding a
translates to.
fucking mammoth. You're like, is this a fucking elephant, you guys? What the fuck is this?
I know. Its skin and hair was still intact. It's been called beautiful and one of the most incredible mummified ice age animals ever discovered in the world by paleontologist Dr. Grant Zula. I don't know how to process it all right now. To be honest with you, it's amazing. I told BBC. Let's see, there's a for scale. You can see. It was discovered close to Canada's border with Alaska and the Yukon Territory in Dawson City. It was during an excavation project. So the woolly mammoth that roamed this area 30,000 years ago alongside cave lions and giant bison and wild horses. So they were like actually looking for these kind of things. So it was found in the permafrost. It said the mammoth died when she was around 30 to 35 days old. And they clarify that means that, you know, when they said she, that means she was identified as a female. Wow. I didn't really need to clarify.
Baby. Little baby.
Yeah. This was like the best preserved to ever be discovered in North America. So this is the second ever to be found in the world. She has a trunk, she has a tail, she has tiny little ears. Oh my god, they're talking about it like it's like a... So this is just... There we go. There's a big mammoth for you. I don't know. I don't trust this at all.
I don't know. Will they talk like Ray Romano when they come out? Because that's really the most important thing, I think. I want them to talk like Raymond.
See, look, see, 60 million in funding, like to continue with the gene editing work required to bring the animal back to life. Wait, gene editing? What?
Gene who?
CRISPR? Yes, CRISPR. CRISPR DNA gene
Fuzzy
editing. So you will be able to follow along if you go into the show notes of the show, and you will be able to follow along with all this information that I found on this. All right, so where are we now? I think did we cover that one? Yeah. And so we do have an Endangered Species Act that I wanted to bring up, just just for context. It was enacted in 1973. Add that to the screen. December 28th of 1973. So the Endangered Species Act establishes protections of fish, wildlife, plants, and they're listed and threatened, endangered. So in order to get on this, it's supposed to take like 2 years.
Yeah.
Or more, and usually it takes about 12 for them to get all the information and to get to get whatever the species is onto there.
Yeah.
So you have to like preemptively know. It doesn't, it doesn't always catch like everything, and it takes a long time for something to go on there because it has to all be well documented. So I just wanted to put that out there, that it's a huge backlog, a huge waiting list for that. So what is this CRISPR that they're using?
CRISPR.
I have a video, and look at it's from Scientific American, and it even has a mammoth on the CRISPR
It's good
video.
if it's got a mammoth on it. That's how you judge a good document about science.
So I'm gonna show this. I'm gonna mute us, and then I'm gonna play the video.
Science.
CRISPR is the basis of a revolutionary gene editing system. One day, it could make it possible to do everything from resurrect extinct species to develop cures for chronic disease. It's built on a natural adaptation found in the DNA of bacteria and single-celled organisms. CRISPR stands for clustered, regularly interspaced, short palindromic repeats. They're really just bits of genetic code with a specific, recognizable format. They contain a sequence that shows up over and over again, though it's often reversed each time. That's what makes it palindromic. Palindromes are words that can be read the same backwards and forwards. Palindromes are common in DNA. Some serve as backups for damage to our genetic code, while others are common in cancer mutations. With CRISPR, a group of enzymes recognize certain repeats and break the DNA there to insert important information in the middle. These insertions are called spacers, and they contain the genetic code of different viruses that have invaded in the past. Such previous invasions served a very important evolutionary purpose, immunizing against foreign threats. Researchers first discovered CRISPR in E. coli in the 1980s. When E. coli survives viral attacks, it incorporates some of the virus DNA into its own genetic code. E. coli isn't unique in this strategy. Between the 1980s and 2000, scientists found that lots of bacteria and single-celled organisms incorporate viral DNA this way. Cells use these sequences as templates for transcribing complementary strands of RNA. When viruses matching the template sequence enter the cell, the complementary RNA binds to them and directs a series of CRISPR-associated enzymes, or Cas enzymes, to attack, cutting invader DNA at the binding site. That neutralizes the viral threat. The CRISPR-Cas system is incredibly effective. It's also easy to manipulate, letting us alter a cell's genetic code however we want. In 2012, French microbiologist Emmanuel Charpentier and American biochemist Jennifer Doudna discovered that Cas enzymes, specifically Cas9, can be reprogrammed to cut nearly any part of the genome using RNA sequences made in the lab. Those guide RNA molecules tell Cas9 where to cut DNA in a cell. For their discovery, Charpentier and Doudna won the Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 2020, and the use of CRISPR has taken off in science since their breakthrough. But scientists are still far from realizing CRISPR's potential. Cas9 is great at suppressing or knocking out unwanted genes, but for most medical purposes, it's not enough to cut unwanted DNA out. Scientists need to control how the DNA repairs itself. Left to their own devices, cells tend to repair broken DNA using a method that introduces lots of random errors. Researchers can provide cells with templates to guide the repair process, but they're still working on making that more reliable. Researchers have found lots of applications for CRISPR in animals, like making disease-resistant chicken and pigs, and mosquitoes that can't bite or lay eggs. But they've got many projects underway, making disease-resistant crops, for example, including wine grapes. Even more ambitiously, They're working to genetically alter pigs so their organs could be transplanted into humans and bring extinct species like the passenger pigeon back to life by tweaking the genomes of similar birds alive today. When it comes to the human genome, though, scientists have been more hesitant. Editing our own DNA could easily end up causing more problems than it solves. While Cas9 reliably cuts DNA where we want it to, recent experiments have shown that it can also affect genes far off target. And even if we could get it to work reliably, many experts have flagged ethical concerns about using the technology for eugenics and designer babies. If parents can one day pay scientists to edit their baby's DNA, making them stronger or smarter, CRISPR could make the world even more unequal and prejudiced. In 2018, Chinese researcher He Jiankui claimed he'd used CRISPR to make HIV-resistant children. Whether or not he succeeded, his work violated China's National Health Commission rules, and he was sentenced to 3 years in prison. Using CRISPR on babies is widely illegal, but there are some cases where using CRISPR on humans may be worth the risk. In 2020, American researchers began the first clinical trials injecting CRISPR directly into humans, aiming to repair a genetic mutation that causes blindness. Many researchers hope CRISPR-based therapies could eventually cure hereditary diseases. They've already seen promising results in various animal studies. Though given the risks of editing the human genome, we're still a ways off from widespread use of CRISPR in medicine. CRISPR has given science a tool to reliably tinker with the code of life. But the question remains, can we do so safely and ethically while avoiding the unintended consequences of such power?
Think we can?
I don't know.
I think badger monkey is the next logical step. Give me a monkey. Badger. We'll make some badger monkeys. And yeah. Badger monkey. Would you believe marmots that fly?
I want to make sure that we played the last little bit to give them credit for it.
Give them credit for the credit.
Yeah, give them credit for it.
Yeah. You so crispy, baby. You make your new girlfriend like, oh, girl, you so crispy. See my girl? I got her all crisp.
So
took her to the doctor, got her some new crispy titties, and
they say that it's a basis of a revolutionary gene editing system. One day it could make it possible to do everything from resurrect some species to develop cures for chronic disease.
Yeah, crisp me up, darling.
Do you trust them?
Crisp me up, baby.
Do you trust the CIA to
crisp me hotter, daddy,
to help with this?
Yeah.
Do you think they have our best interests at heart?
Yeah, no, I believe that every single bit of these technologies could be like hugely beneficial to mankind. The fact is that the people funding them are generally the fucking weirdo, fucking deviant fuck faces that you don't want anywhere near this kind of technology.
Well, if there was
they'll
transparency
right.
and everybody, actually worked cooperatively together, and we actually had consensus
and
and
open source kind of thing.
Yeah.
But this is not that.
It's not. We're so far from having something like that, although that's what we need so that we don't pull off the pulse of humanity.
New ones. They'll be like, oh, remember all those cutlers that used to be around? Yeah, we got a couple pieces of them on ice. We'll bring them back in a couple 100 years. Sing some songs or whatever. That's the idea. Is like, well, you're disposable in a country with no healthcare. You're just disposable, and somebody might keep a piece of your Walt Disney, put you in the freezer, or whatever, for a while. But probably not. Probably not. You'll probably be dust.
Yep, X said the CIA is trustworthy, don't you know?
Screw cancer. Let's bring back marmots. That's what John Kemper said.
All right.
Darn tootin', mister.
I don't know. This is all just yeah.
Not right. What's wrong about it?
I just, the CIA is involved. doesn't bring me trust. Although the very first video, he gave me a good laugh, the guy, because he said we trusted them.
Trust him. And by trust we mean not at all. We mean the opposite of that. Entirely.
I mean, and we did a long stream on CRISPR before, and CRISPR cows and all of that. But I have another, this is perspectives on gene editing. So this is, I try to get a rounded viewpoint, from different perspectives of things. And this is Harvard researchers. Others share their views on the key issues in the field. And this is from January 9th of 2019. And this is Mary Todd Bergman, a Harvard correspondent.
Easy for you to say.
Medicine is at a turning point at the cusp of a major change as disruptive technologies such as gene, RNA, and cell therapies enable scientists to approach disease in new ways. The swiftness of the change is being driven by innovations such as CRISPR gene editing, which makes it possible to correct errors in DNA with relative ease. Yeah, it's just easy. It's easy. It's no biggie, right?
No bigs.
No, not a big deal. Progress in this field has been so rapid that the dialogue around the potential ethical, societal, and safety issues is scrambling to catch up. Yeah, I think that should have been first. Do we even go there? Do we even talk about this? At all? Is this a thing?
What do you want to do all that talking for?
The disconnect was brought into stark belief that at the Second International Summit of Human Genome Editing held in Hong Kong in November, when exciting updates about emerging therapies were eclipsed by a disturbing announcement. He Jikanu, I don't know if I said that right. Chinese researchers claimed that he had edited the genes of 2 human embryos and that they have been brought to term. There was immediate outcry from scientists across the world, and he was subject to immense social pressure, including the removal of all of his affiliations for having allegedly disregarded ethical norms of his patient's safety. Yet, as Glenn Cohen, faculty director at the Periflorum Center for Health Law, Policy, Biotechnology, and Bioethics at Harvard Law School. Jeez, what a mouthful. Had said gene editing comes in many varieties with many consequences, and deep ethical discussion needs to take into account those distinctions. So, the human genome editing versus somatic versus germline. The germline editing he claimed to have carried out is quite different from the somatic gene therapies that are currently changing the frontiers of medicine. While somatic gene editing affects only the patient being treated, only some of her cells, germline editing affects all cells in any organism, including egg and sperm. So it's passed on to future generations, the possible consequences that are difficult to predict. Yeah, I would say, if you're passing on, that to the next, you don't know what that's going to do.
Potentially not good.
because like cancer is the duplication of cells, right? Like it's how fast they're duplicating. If this does this and it learns how to like kind of edit on its own, I don't know. This is a whole thing. So somatic gene therapies involve modifying a patient's DNA to treat or cure a disease caused by a genetic mutation. In one clinical trial, for example, scientists take blood stem cells from a patient, use CRISPR technologies to correct the genetic mutation causing them to produce defective blood cells, then infuse the corrected cells back into the patient, where they produce healthy hemoglobin. The treatment causes the patient's blood cells, but not his or her sperm or eggs. Okay, so the somatic gene therapies, that's different. That's just that part of it. So germline human genome editing, on the other hand, alters the genome of a human embryo in its earliest stages. This may affect every cell, which means it has an impact not only on the person who may result, but possibly on his or her descendants. Therefore, there are substantial restrictions on its use. So, I mean, yeah, if you don't know if something's going to like change something down the road, that's the thing. Long-term complications, there could be huge long-term like benefits. There could be completely the opposite. It could be a mix. It could be, you just don't know. That's the thing, is that you just don't know. And I feel like there's a rush to like, be a first on something. I think it's better to be a right on some things instead of being first. So gene line editing in a dish can help researchers figure out what the health benefits could be and how to reduce risks. Those include targeting the wrong gene, off-target impacts, which editing a gene might fix one problem but cause another. Okay, so scientific leaders are asking though what benefits, when the benefits are believed to outweigh the risk, dangers can be avoided. Should the science consider moving forward with germline genome editing to improve human health? If the answer is yes, how do researchers do so responsibly? That's a good question. That's really like what like I've been kind of editing, like, getting at this whole time as they're talking about editing DNA. Like, are they doing so in a way where, it's they're being responsible? Steve, behind you. Steve, other way. No, Steve.
Hey.
Hi. So it goes into the different types of like gene editing and all of that, and the consensus between it. And I'm going to, of course, make sure this is in the show notes, and I'll drop this into the YouTube chat as well if you guys want to check out this article on it. I feel like there needs to be. Okay, I don't know what's happening, but Rob Juno says no gills then. Whatever that means.
It just means he doesn't want gills.
Yeah, and V.S. Adams has it right. How about they stop polluting our water, air, and land, and maybe they wouldn't get cancers that need to be treated.
That's crazy talk.
Oh, salty.
Insurgent. Sounds like an insurgency.
Yeah. You want gills, Rob? I think he's pro gills.
He's pro Gil. Hey, don't
I think so.
Aquaman was his favorite guy.
Steve said Aquaman was your favorite guy. He's over making some egg rolls. So yeah, I just think that there's definitely some stuff that, you know, there needs to be some conversation in the ethics side of this, and you know, the ties to business and money, and you know, like, do we, you know, the CIA has its own, like, you know, private company. What the hell?
Probably many diversified, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. Absolutely.
Out of here, kid.
Yeah, exactly. VS Adams said they're the ones spreading the outdated chemicals from world wars to use for herbicides and pesticides, and the insurance companies and big pharma raking the money treating people. Exactly. It's what's happening. And you know, it's it is alarming. And I covered this before, but this article will be in the show notes for you guys if you want to check it out also. You know, and people might already be eating CRISPR food, like as in like genome edited food, because you know the FDA approved these. This is from March 2022. I covered this. We did a whole episode on like the CRISPR cows and stuff, and the effects that, you know, what they did to the cows. The slick coat one on the left, and then this is the actual regular cow on the right. I don't like the one on the left. It doesn't look right. But you know, they're already messing with stuff. They're messing with our food. They're messing with all the animals. And it's like, you know, I'm a vegetarian. I'm not even, you know, I'm not vegan, and I'm like kind of freaking out, you know. They're putting bugs in food. They're putting, you know, there's all sorts of stuff happening.
Bugs in food.
Ghost Art is very excited about the egg rolls.
About the what?
The egg rolls.
Oh.
What?
So we'll have to save him one.
Oh, he says we're gonna save you one. What kind are they, Steve? What's in them?
Purple cabbage.
There's purple cabbage.
Purple cabbage,
Squash. Mushrooms. And tuna. Egg rolls.
And carrots. I'm sorry.
Oh, carrots. I was going to say, there's no carrots in there.
Also carrots.
Nice. Yes, and grow your own food as much as you can. You know, try to eat, make the best choices that you can. Aggravated progressive said I already ate bugs. Oh.
Okay. Yummy buggies.
We don't eat pork. Aggravated progressive, so we would put pork in there. But he said onion and kale.
Yeah, kale and onion. Well, it actually has
He goes, I was all wrong.
has, chives.
Oh, it has chives in it.
Scallion.
Scallion. Yeah. Nice. Yeah.
No, I'm doing garlic too. You know what I'm saying? A little ginger. What?
Yeah, and yeah, Jenna, you're right. Bugs have been used as a food additives coloring for a long as I could remember. They don't come out and call it bugs. No, they don't. But yeah, there's a lot of things that are used.
That ain't bugs. That's just food additives. That's flavor. There's flavor.
Nice. So, yeah, the CIA is funding woolly mammoths.
That's right.
I didn't think I would say that. Like, that wasn't on my bingo card. It wasn't. Like, for what purpose? I don't really know yet. But I mean, I think there's some possibilities. I think it could be, they could use it as a, somehow to be, to need to be closer into Russia. We need to be there with our mammoths, surveillance.
Surveillance mammoths.
You never know. Like, I wouldn't put anything past the government. It could be a food source. It's going to be an income source. No matter what, people are going to want to see mammoths. Steve.
Kitty. Get the hell out of here.
Whether are they going to be hunted? Are they going to be like a food source? Like, I don't know.
I don't know. Ain't my job to know what you're gonna do with that mammoth.
I don't know what they're planning on doing with these mammoths. I don't think they're going to let them just be. There's going to be some kind of purpose for them. Like, there's going to be some kind of, it's going to be like the newest thing to eat, and they're going to make a ton of money off of it, or they'll have it where you can hunt them, or, more money laundering. Something's going to happen.
Ray Romano will become a rich man again because he'll be the voice of it. He's like, man, he ain't a mammoth from the movies. I'm just hoping.
Yeah, Jenna, I know people put dead bodies and bodily fluids from cows and chickens, but bugs.
Yeah. I'm hoping Ray Romano his career just bounces right back, and he's just on top of the world as the voice of the new genetically modified RNA mammoth. mRNA mammoth? That's a lot. mRNA mammoth. We got to shorten that up a little. Let's just call him Manny. Everybody knows him as Manny the Mammoth already.
The cocaine mammoth?
Chris H.
Oh, hi, Chris. Oh, we're wrapping up.
We are. We're finishing it up. Coming into the finish line here.
Can
we offer you something in a mammoth or a mammoth?
I don't think that the CRISPR mammoths are going to improve things. I think that they're going to be used.
They taste fantastic
in all sorts of ways, though.
Paired with a nice Chianti.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta remember, like, shrimp and stuff, and like, that they are the bugs of the ocean.
Who you calling a bug?
The cleaners of the ocean. I call, the bugs are the things that clean things up.
Okay.
And the birds eat the bugs.
The birds eat the bugs, and the bugs are dead. And then we have to bring them back from extinction. Call the CIA. I don't know if that was accurate. That's how I feel, damn it. Who else can we try?
Chris H said, Lucky Burrito. Can you genetically engineer a mammoth? You can genetically engineer a world leader you want to replace. Hmm.
Good point.
Maybe that's what they're doing. I don't know. I just don't like where does the line end? You know, they don't tend to know where those moral and ethical lines should you know like
They're building a better Trump.
they're not such good gauges on where to kind of draw that line and like okay yeah we've gone far enough you know. Oh my god. Yeah. Jenna said, bring back the dinosaurs, even the score. Oh god. Oh man. Oh. Oh yeah, how did our poll go?
Yeah, who won?
Did everybody do the poll? Chris said that the CRISPR mammoth is a contingency plan for when they want to repair the world after World War III, like a shortage of Noah's Ark. Oh my god!
Reboot.
Yeah, and look at it, exactly. Like, look what we've done, Jenna. It's this beautiful planet. Exactly. I was saying that earlier. Oh my god. Little now wants Mike to have a joint. I could probably make that happen. Yeah, I could probably.
Getting accessorized.
He's gonna have accessories.
Mike.
Little knows that Little can always come on the show too.
Fully. Could.
All right, are you gonna play us out a song, or
I will.
do you have long enough to do that?
I do.
All right. So Stever's gonna play us out a song. Do you want to sit here, or do you want to?
I'll sit right here.
And after the song, we're gonna say goodnight. Please check out the replay if you came in late. Hit the like, vote on the poll because it's gonna end when we're done, and let us know if you would eat a dodo egg. We love you guys.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. See clouds of white, bright blessed day and the dark sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. And I see friends shaking hands, singing, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Well, thank you, Steve.
You're welcome.
All right, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
We're going to wrap this up. We've been going for like 3.5 hours with you lovely people. We'll get Mike we'll get Mike a joint. All right, you guys.
Good night, y'all.
Try to have a good night.
Do your damnedest.
Yes.
Darndest.